Pregame of Cassville.
And a very pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to Wildcat Stadium in Cassville, Missouri. The Cassville Wildcats playing their final
daughter of Sarah
game of the regular season, hosting the Lamar Tigers in this Big 8 West battle here in week number 8 of the high school football season. Yep, that's right. Just 2 games remain tonight and next Friday, and then it's on to the district playoff. The season is flying by, and we're down to just 2 weeks left in the regular season, and it is senior night.
Rachel Jackson
seniors
of Cassville.
The Cassville Wildcat football team, along with the senior cheerleaders and band members, are all being recognized and introduced to the
daughter
crowd
of Damon and Nicole Brown of Cassville,
watching along
and Patrick
on
Moeller
CassvilleWebTV.com. You can see all of the seniors as they're lined up on the track here prior to
Ethan
tonight's
Scott,
football game.
son of Richard and Patricia Scott of Cassville.
CassvilleWebTV.com and online at RadioTalent.com.
Kristen Stow, daughter of Joel and Candace Stow of Cassville.
CassvilleWebTV.com. And we are looking forward to a big matchup here tonight.
Leslie
just
Sutter,
a few years ago, Cassville
son of Stephanie Whiteley and Janice Cooper of Eagle Rock.
That snapped the Lamar Tigers' 50-plus game winning streak. Let's see what happens here tonight. Lamar comes in
Dakota Taylor,
6-1,
son of Jeremiah and Terry Taylor of Cassville.
Trying to get some momentum going again. After a big win last week on the road, they snapped 2-game losing skid.
Girls golf.
And the Wildcats
Macy Barton,
tonight with a record
daughter of Jimmy and Wendy Barton of Jenkins.
Well, it's a beautiful night. We were thinking we might get some cooler weather for week number 8. It's actually warmed back up.
Now cross country.
Cold weather is going
Charles
to be holding off
Elliott,
until
son
next
of Benjamin
week.
Elliott of Shellnob and Hannah Elliott
weeks ago.
of Cassville.
Evening for high school football. The fans are going to be able to enjoy this one as well as the players. You know, it's that time of year where
Jolie Evans, daughter of Darren and Jennifer Evans of Cassville. Mason Gottney, son of Adam and Lisa Gottney of Cassville. Caleb Leach, son of Brian and Christina Leach of Cassville.
Yeah, last week at Springfield Catholic, the wind was blowing when we got there. We just kept going all night long, but it looks like
Jacob Martinez, son of Felipe and Maria Mendoza of Cassville.
Time to jump into tonight's pregame show. It's brought to you by Mercy Hospital in Cassville, where your life is
Carrie and Donna Moore.
We'll get things started with the field condition report. It's brought to you by Security Insurance of Cassville. What condition is your insurance in? Are you covered for the hazards of weather?
And now here,
Jillian
Security
Insurance at 847-8384.
daughter of Jill
That's
and the late Michael LeCompte of Cassville.
Well, it's been dry for about a month, but they've been watering the grass. But we are getting far enough along in the season that the Bermuda grass is finally starting to go a little dormant. It's starting to get some brown patches.
Again, seniors, we thank you very much, especially you as parents. We thank you very much as well for supporting your son and daughters during these past 12 years in the sporting engagements that they are in. We greatly appreciate all of you, and let's give them a great round of applause.
Several years now, but this Bermuda's had an opportunity to grow and deep roots and become really firm. So I feel good shape.
Yeah, it's crazy that this time of year, here we are in the middle of October, that you're having to water like crazy to keep things going. But that's what we're dealing with. We had the drought during the summer, and now the drought has returned here in fall. Again, tonight's field condition report brought to you by Security Insurance of Cassville. Give them a call at 847-8384. Well, fans, when you attend a high school game, do you stand at attention? Do you also cheer a good play by the opposing team? If your team loses, do you take it well in stride? If you answer yes to any of those questions, you're showing positive examples of good sportsmanship. Don't forget that when you attend high school events, young eyes are watching you for examples of acceptable behavior. By making a conscious effort, you'll be helping students grow into better citizens. Sportsmanship reminder brought to you by Access Family Care, with locations in Cassville, Neosho, Aurora, Mount Vernon, and Joplin. Well, the seniors have been introduced, and now they are heading off to their respective places. The band will get ready for the national anthem coming up here in a little bit, and all the football players back to the field house making final preparations before they get set to take on the Lamar Tigers. Looking around the Big 8 tonight, a big one down in McDonald County. Seneca, the only unbeaten left in the Big 8, and that's either in the Big 8 East or West. They are at McDonald County. McDonald County getting upended last week by Monette. So the Mustangs hosting the Indians. Lamar tonight here at Cassville. East Newton's at Aurora. Monette is on the road at Nevada. Marshfield at Mount Vernon. Springfield Catholic at Hollister. And Rogersville at Reed Spring. And in the Big 8 East, all eyes will be on the Marshfield-Mount Vernon game and the Rogersville-Reed Spring game, because Marshfield went and beat Rogersville last week, and that kind of threw the Big 8 East into a bit of turmoil. Reed Spring is still the only unbeaten in the conference. Now, they've got losses overall, but they're the only unbeaten in the Big 8 East. But then you've got Marshfield, Rogersville, and Mount Vernon all right there behind them, just one loss back.
Yeah, everybody's still got you. Look at that Seneca down in Mustangs got shut out last week. We'll see how they respond. Seneca's a very good football team. The size of the Mustangs and some of their abilities out of the backfield.
Seneca not only unbeaten overall, they're unbeaten, of course, in the Big 8 West. They're 4-0 in their division. And then you've got Lamar right behind them at 4-1 in the division. And then Monette, McDonald County, and Nevada all at 2-2 in the Big 8 West. Cassville is 1-3, and then Seneca 0-5, bringing up the rear. Seneca taking on McDonald County tonight, and then they have to play Nevada, so their road to try to finish the season unbeaten is going to be a tough one. Nevada's got Monette tonight, and of course then Seneca. Cassville is Lamar's opponent, and then they've got a crossover game. It's crazy that you got a split crossover game in week number 9, but the Tigers do against Hollister. And then McDonald County, they've got the Indians tonight, and then they play East Newton, Cassville with Lamar tonight, and then Berry County Brawl next week.
Lots of good games still left. Yeah, we're getting close to the end of this thing. Postseason will be here before we know it. Teams focus tonight is just go out and try to win games.
Of course, that's just a look at the Big 8 East and the Big 8 West Conference standings. We'll take a look at the district standings when we come back. Class 3 District 6 still got the opportunities for a lot of movement in the final 2 weeks of the regular season. We'll continue on with Mercy Hospital pregame show, Mercy Hospital of Cassville, where quality care matters. You're listening to Big 8 Conference football here on the
At this time, the Ministerial Alliance would like for you to please stand
Back with you here at Cassville. The Wildcats getting set to take on the Lamar Tigers. Big 8 West battle here tonight at Wildcat Stadium. We continue on with the Mercy Hospital of Cassville pregame show, where your life is their life's work. Tonight's game also brought to you in part, if you're listening in on the Apple and Google phone apps, they're courtesy of White Funeral Home. At White Funeral Home, they measure their success by the satisfaction of the families they serve. And your Wildcat broadcast team is brought to you by Les Jacobs Ford, your trusted and hassle-free choice for collision repair. Call their collision repair department. Put their years of experience to work for you. They say go Wildcats at Les Jacobs Ford. Find them online at lesjacobsford.com. Cassville Marching Band completing their pregame routine. Now they're going to go help form the tunnel for the players to come out of the field house. We're still about, looks like 13, 14 minutes away from tonight's opening kick as we continue on with the pregame festivities. It's time for tonight Cassville Wildcat Keys to Victory. It's brought to you by Wesco Home Furnishings. Mark of the gang at Wesco invite you to stop by and view their wide selection of furniture, mattresses, and appliances. Find them online also at wescohome.com. Wesco Home Furnishings of Cassville bringing you tonight's Wildcat Keys to Victory. One of those keys is to try to slow down Lamar's running game. That's their bread and butter. But one thing with Coach Beshore, now that he's taken over the program, and we're talking about Jared Beshore, back when he played and they had that run of 7 straight state championships, it was run 99.9% of the time. He has started over the last couple of seasons mixing in more of a passing game to go along and complement their running game. So you can't just sell out on the run, but you have to somehow try to figure out a way to control and slow down their running attack.
Yeah, he's tried to make this team a little more balanced. 99% run was pretty effective, but when you have those kind of athletes, you can kind of do those things, and they're good at it. Cassville tonight is going to have to show that they can run the football. They're going to have to mix in a little pass. They're going to have to keep this Lamar Tiger defense honest. You can't let them sell out, load the box. You got to be willing to throw it if they do that. But first and foremost, you have to be able to match the intensity at the line of scrimmage and find a way to establish, a running game. You got to have some success on first down, and you got to keep the penalties low. You don't want to end up behind the chains in offensive scenarios.
And you're thinking the exact same thing, because that's where I was going next for another key, was for their offense to do some work tonight, because we talk about it year in and year out. Lamar's offense gets a lot of the publicity because of all the points they put up, but a lot of those points are set up by their very good defense. Their defense a lot of times gets overshadowed because those stats aren't the ones that get thrown up in the paper on Saturdays after Friday night's game, and this year is no exception. They have a very good defense. You got to try to find a way to crack into that.
Yeah, and they're big, physical, and fast as usual, and speed is tough to deal with. That's why you have to be very good at the point of attack. You've got to be able to block up front and let these running backs find a seam. You're not going to break a lot of long plays against this Tiger defense because they cover sideline to sideline so well. But if the Wildcats are able to run the football a little bit, mix in some pass, hit the flats, work their way down the field, keep moving those chains, that's going to be a key to victory.
And that's another key too right there, because Cassville's had some grinded-out games with the Tigers over the last several years, but in the games where Lamar has had some big success, it's because it's come from big plays, and you got to try to limit their big play opportunity. We saw Nevada take advantage of Cassville by doing the big plays a couple of weeks ago up there in Vernon County. Well, you got to try to limit Lamar's big play capabilities as well.
Yeah, you got to keep them in front somehow, and you've got to stay disciplined on the back side because they'll run some misdirection and come right back at you. If you're over-pursuing, a little over-aggressive, they'll come right back against it and pop it wide open out the back side.
Again, the Wildcat Keys to Victory brought to you by Wesco Home Furnishings of Cassville. They're looking forward to a great season of Wildcat football, and just like the quality portrayed by each player on the field, Wesco offers that same quality merchandise and customer service. Well, looking at the district standings, Class 3, District 6, we've been talking about it all season long. It's definitely got a different look to it with all the teams that used to be in it dropping down to Class 2. So Reed Spring, Cassville, and Aurora are the only 3 teams in the Big 8 that are still in the Class 3 district. And then they're thrown in with Buffalo, Osage, and Clinton. So you got 3 teams from up north. It's only a 6-team district, so the top 2 seeds will receive first-round byes, and then the The 3 seed will play the 6 seed, the 4 seed will play the 5 seed, and then move on into the semifinals. As of last week, Osage has jumped over Cassville, knocking the Wildcats down to the number 4 spot. But it's only by about a half a point, and then Osage is just about a point and a half behind Buffalo for the 2nd spot. Now, Reed Spring, 5-2, they're kind of out in front of everybody right now, and unless something crazy happens to them, which it could, you've seen crazy things happen in the final 2 weeks before, they've got to stay focused also, but they're looking to try to lock up that number 1 seed and get a first-round bye. But these last 2 weeks have suddenly become even more important for Cassville. They've got a Class 2 team here tonight in Lamar, but then they got a Class 4 team next week that they'll be getting some bonus points for. And if they can pick up a win in the Berry County Brawl, even get more points for that and try to jump back up to maybe the number 3 seed. And, of course, those higher seeds are also going to get home games in the first round of the playoffs, and that's a big thing as well because you don't want to be having to travel 2 or 3 hours up north to Clinton or Osage.
Well, and you look at this Buffalo football team, and we had kind of written them off. We kind of stopped on the ride home last week. We were kind of watching scores, and Fairgrove was up a couple of touchdowns late in that game. Somehow Buffalo came back and won the football game. I found out Monday. I had no idea they'd come back and won that football game. But, they've got Springfield Central tonight.
Central's a much improved team.
They're a much improved team. They've been, really bad for a really long time. But they're sitting at, 5-2 right now. So, and they've got athletes. So it's no cakewalk for Buffalo tonight. Things can happen there. Don't know much about Southern Boone or Osage, but both of them sitting there at 4-3. So, things can happen. And Wildcats, it's not out of the realm of possibility they can work their way back up in the 2 seed. So we'll just have to see what happens the next couple of weeks.
Yep, we got tonight and next week, and then the seeds will be set, and we'll move on into week number 10 of the first round of the playoffs. Lamar, they're setting the top their district right now, but they've got a very competitive district. Now, the interesting part, Lamar's in that district, and they got put into it a couple of years ago with schools over around Springfield and to the north. Fairgrove's in it and some of the schools up north. Seneca, since they dropped down to Class 2 this year, they're in the district with Hollister, Mount Vernon, East Newton, and all that bunch. So Seneca and Lamar, I know, wants to get another crack at the Indians, but that wouldn't happen until deep into the postseason. Right. So there's a lot of things got to happen for that matchup to happen once again. Lamar is ranked number 4 in Class 2, right behind Seneca, who's number 3. And, of course, Lamar, we talked about a while ago, had that great run from 2011 to 2017 where they won 7 straight Class 2 championships. Then in 18, they got knocked out in the semifinals. In 19, they got knocked out in the quarterfinals. Bounced back with their 8th state championship in 2020. And then last year, they went to the finals but lost to Lutheran North and finished runner-up. And they are a very hungry football team. Cassville, in the last 10 years, has got a couple of wins over Lamar back in 2012. And then, of course, that one that snapped the 50, I think it's 57, 58 games in a row back in 2018.
Yeah, longest current winning streak in the country, I believe, at the time. So, there's a lot of history between these two, and you got to tip your cap to Lamar and their program and what they've been able to do for over a decade at this point.
Yeah, we thought the year Cassville made the run to the championship game in 2019, we were thinking we might get a couple of Big 8 schools up there because the COC had Webb City and Carthage both up there, and we were thinking Lamar might be joining Cassville in Columbia, but Lamar didn't make it that far that year. But then the 2020, the very next year, they win the state championship.
Yeah, they just it's a machine up there right now.
Well, the teams are out on the sidelines. The coaches are gathering with the officials and getting their captains together as we get closer to the start of tonight's game. We'll go ahead and run over tonight's Cassville Wildcats starting lineup. It's brought to you by Fast Trip. Whether for fuel, grocery items, fountain drinks, or snacks, they've got it all at the very best prices. Fast Trip in Cassville, locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. At quarterback, it'll be Bodie Rose. He is a 5'10", 160-pound sophomore. Rose has ran for over 400 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's thrown for nearly 800 yards and 8 touchdowns on the season. Running backs, Bryson Jacobson. He's a 6'1", 170 junior. He's ran for 230 yards and 3 touchdowns. He'll be joined in the backfield by Trey Wilson, a 5'8", 155 senior. Wilson has 600 yards rushing and 11 rushing touchdowns, and he's also got 3 receiving touchdowns. The wide receivers, Garrett Ewing, he's a 5'6", 140 junior. He has hauled in passes for nearly 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. He'll be joined by Hernan Hernandez, who is a 5'8", 175 senior. Tight end, Isaac Hadlow, 6', 200-pound senior. The center, Joseph Ryder, 5'10", 200 junior. Right guard, Ethan Lamborn, 6'1", 230 senior. Right tackle, Christian Tidwell, 5'9", 235 senior. Left guard, Nick Fierro, 6 foot 200-pound sophomore. Left tackle, Austin Revelorio, 6'1", 230 senior. On the defense for the Wildcats, at the tackles, DJ Glidewell, 5'8", 240 freshman, and Christian Tidwell, 5'9", 235 senior. Defensive ends, Ethan Lamborn, 6'1", 215 junior, and Nick Fierro, 6 foot 200-pound sophomore, and all four of those guys did a great job last week against Springfield Catholic. The two tackles did a great job keeping Catholic's offensive line from getting any push in the middle, and the two defensive ends just kept collapsing the pocket on the Springfield Catholic quarterback. The linebackers, Angel Vale, 5'9", 160 junior, Keaton Schellenberger, 6'1", 195 senior, and Canyon King, 5'11", 185 sophomore. The corners, Jake Anthony's, 5'8", 165 senior, and Hernan Hernandez, 5'8", 175 senior. Free safety, Garrett Ewing, 5'6", 140 junior, and the strong safety, Bryson Jacobson, 6'1", 170 junior. Wildcat starting lineup brought to you by Fast Trip in Cassville. Great prices and friendly service is what you'll find at Fast Trip. Stop by today, locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. All right, the captains are gathered and headed out. Coach Clay Weldy and his Wildcat captains will meet with Coach Jared Beshore and the Lamar captains. Ethan Lamborn, Hernan Hernandez, Keaton Schellenberger joined out there with Christian Tidwell. Tonight's coin toss is brought to you by the Clark Center. They have offices in Berry, Lawrence, and Dade counties. You can find out more by going to www.clarkmentalhealth.com and find the phone number for services in your area. Clark Community Mental Health Center, moving forward, improving lives and communities through compassion and care. Cassville in the all-black uniforms with the Wildcat on the black helmets and the gold numbers on the front and back. Lamar in the white jerseys, black pants. They've got black numbers, and they are trimmed in red, and they've got black helmets here this evening. Coaches have been dismissed, and now the officials going through the coin toss. And it looks like Lamar has won the toss, and the Tigers want the football. So they will receive, and they will be coming out of the north end zone. Cassville kicking towards the north end. And there was a little breeze coming out of that south end zone earlier, but it has pretty much died off. The flags atop the goalpost are barely moving, and the American flag in the north end of the field is hanging limp. So the wind has died down for the time being, and Peter Littlefield will be kicking things off here in just a few moments to get us underway.
Yeah, just a really pleasant night out here for football, really for anything if you're outside tonight. Very, very comfortable, very nice evening.
Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash. They've got the new IQ Soft Cloth Automatic. It features custom wash technology that gives you the perfect wash every time. With Baywash, a clean car is a happy car, and that makes you feel good. Tonight's first quarter is brought to you by Michael's Hardware, 186 Sale Barn Road in Cassville. For your project questions, call Michael's. Friendly folks, serious hardware. We've got, looks like, back deep, Cooper Hahn and Logan Quiche back deep, awaiting the kick. They get a fresh 12 minutes put on the clock here at Wildcat Stadium. Littlefield checks with his team, now gets the whistle from the officials, and we are underway. A drive down the right hash takes Hahn. Oh, it goes over his head as he and Kish had a little miscommunication there, and the ball bounces and goes into the end zone. Hahn thought Kish was going to get it, and Kish thought Hahn was going to get it, and it bounced in between them. And the Tigers will start their opening drive of the night at their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, good kick there. Start this football game off for Littlefield. Now this Wildcat defense will come out, and got a tall order tonight, Sammy, and we'll see how they handle it. You know that they're very familiar with the Tigers. Things you work on during the week in practice. We'll see how it carries over here tonight.
Well, it looks like Cooper Hahn is going to be the starting quarterback tonight. Joel Beshore, starting quarterback for the Tigers, got hurt a couple of weeks ago. Did not play last week against Nevada, as Alex Wilkerson was the quarterback a week ago for the Tigers. But Cooper Hahn getting the start tonight, and he takes the initial snap from the pistol, takes it right up the middle, powers his way out behind the offensive line to the 24 and picks up 4 yards.
Shotgun formation, big offensive line. Hahn just tucked in right behind him. Straight down the field.
And he's back there all by himself. They send twin receivers to the right, one man split out wide to the left. They do bring guys in motion, and here he comes. It's Wilhite. He gets the inside handoff to Hahn, trying to get to the edge. And Cassville does a really nice job stringing him out to the sideline. And the senior ball carrier for the Tigers is run out of bounds over there after picking up about 4 more yards out to the 28, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 2.
Yeah, good flow of the defense right there, forcing the ball carrier all the way to the Lamar sideline, not really let him get ahead of steam down the field.
Well, he gets a better spot than I thought. They put him down at the 29, so it's a 3rd and 1 for Lamar. First 3rd down conversion try of the night for the Tigers. This time the handoff goes to a man in motion, and he's got a hole around the left end, and he's got running room. He's across midfield into Cassville territory. Finally run down from behind, and that was Terrell Davis, another senior, as he sprints all the way down close to the Wildcat 35-yard line and picks up a 1st down.
Yeah, Davis, lots of speed. He was able to take the football off the left side and raced down that Tiger sideline. Nice angles in the secondary for the Wildcats, able to meet him at the sideline.
They put him at the 36. And it's a 1st down for the Tigers. Hahn brings a man in motion, fakes the handoff to him. Right up the middle he goes. Powers his way down to the 30-yard line. Forward progress may have got him to the 29. Nope, they say he was stopped at the 30 for a gain of 6.
Looks like Jacobson coming up from that safety position. Did a nice job coming up and playing in the run game. Put a shoulder right into the ball carrier, stopped him in his tracks.
So 2nd down and 4 now for the Tigers. 2 minutes gone here in the opening quarter. Hahn looking to throw out into the flat. The catch is made by Ian Nagugi. And we'll see. Looks like he turned up the sidelines and picked up enough yardage for the 1st down as they mark him out of bounds at the 24 for a pickup of 6.
He ran his route right just near the 1st down yardage marker. Ball was delivered out there on time at the sideline, and he was able to pick up a few extra yards, but Wildcat defenders were flying out there to corral him.
So 1st and 10 Tigers at the Cassville 24. Hahn going to run it? No, he gives on the inside handoff. He appeared to run, and then he quickly handed it off to Davis, and Cassville's defense was not fooled as they wrap up Davis for little to no gain. Good job by Cassville right there, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, and a really nice job of defensive line right there, getting off their blocks as Davis got the handoff. Some misdirection in the backfield, disciplined football right there along that defensive front. Bring him down for a very short gain.
So 2nd down and 10 for the Tigers. This time they put a back in the backfield with Hahn, and that is Davis. And they will give the ball to Terrell Davis. Starts to his right and then tried to bounce it outside, and black shirts all over him. Schellenberger there along with Ewing and a couple of linemen, and they bring him down. And again, it's no gain, actually a loss back to the 25.
Yeah, really nice job of the linebackers there. Schellenberger leading the way to bring Davis down. Nice read right there and good tackling.
And that will bring up 3rd down and 10. Big 3rd down play right here for the Cassville defense. With 8:20 left to go in the 1st quarter, still no score. Lamar got the opening drive, and they've held on to the ball for 4 minutes. Man comes in motion, runs in front of Hahn, and flags fly. We may have had a little illegal procedure here, as I think we had somebody moving along with the motion man. And it will be a 5-yard penalty against the Tigers.
A little movement in that offensive line. Timing of that play took a little longer than they were willing to wait. Big chance right here for the Wildcats.
Yep, the 3rd and 10 turns into a 3rd and 15. Ball moved all the way back to the 30-yard line. Play coming in from the sidelines. Receiver split out wide to the right. They've got a man in the slot off to the left. He comes in motion. That's Davis, and they give him the handoff. And a correction, that is Wilhite. Wilhite makes a cutback down the line of scrimmage and fights his way to the 25, which is back to about where the original line of scrimmage was. But that is going to be all he will get, and it'll bring up 4th down and 10.
Yeah, once again, good pursuit out of this Wildcat defense, flowing with the play, not letting the ball carrier really get any steam headed down the field. Nice job out there. 4th down. Tigers appeared. They're going to keep, they're kind of in that no man's land spot right now. They're going to keep the offense out there.
Twin receiver split out wide to the left. Wilkerson over here on the right. Now he splits out. Hahn looking to throw. 4th down and 10. Steps up into the pocket. Now he's going to run. He's got one man to make miss, and he makes him miss at the 15. Breaks a tackle at the 10 and takes it all the way down to the 5, and it's going to be 1st and goal Tigers.
Just individual effort right there out of Hahn. Made a Wildcat defense. Tough to tackle in the open field, and he made a move, was able to get the extra yardage and take the ball deep into Wildcat territory. And that's what's so tough when you've got a quarterback that can run. And you've got everything covered up. They did a great job in the secondary. Nowhere to go with the football, but everybody's covered up, and there's a lot of running room out there for Hahn, and he took advantage of it.
They say his knee went down at the 6, so it's 1st and goal Tigers from the 6. Now they go full house backfield. They give the ball to the second man through, and that is Davis. And Davis diving off right tackle, takes it in behind the blocking of Wilhite and Wilkerson for the Tiger touchdown. And with 6:32 left to go in the opening quarter, the Tigers break on top 6-0.
Wildcats had an opportunity. 3rd and very long, 4th and 10. Not able to get the Tigers off the field, and they're able to get the first points on the board here.
In to attempt the point after is Jose Juarez, and the kick is up. It's high, and it is good. So the Tigers hang on to the ball for 5.5 minutes, and they put 7 points on the board. They lead at 7-0 here, midway point of the opening quarter. Tonight's first quarter brought to you by Michael's Hardware. Let them quarterback your project with the right tools and supplies for the job. Michael's Hardware, friendly folks, serious hardware. An 11-play, 80-yard drive, taking 5.5 minutes off the clock. And the Tigers punching in. They had the big long run that got them from their side of the 50 into Cassville territory, and then that big 4th down play.
Yeah.
And that proved to be the difference. A couple of big plays there that they were able to get themselves out of a hole on one and then pick up a 1st down on the other.
Yeah, and those are series right there. This Wildcat defense did a pretty good job, like I said, getting him into a 3rd and long after the penalty, and then a 4th and 10. If the Wildcats want to have a chance to win the football game tonight, those are opportunities where they've got to get the football back without giving up points.
Anthony's, Hernandez, and Wilson drop back deep for Cassville, awaiting the kick. And we'll see who's kicking off here. It looks like teeing the ball up is Ty Wilhite. We saw 2 or 3 different guys practicing kickoffs during the warm-up, so I was wondering who was going to be doing it. And Wilhite will be kicking it away. He approaches and puts the ball in the air. Line drive kick down the middle of the field. Bounces at the 15, scooped up back at the 10 by Anthony's. Trying to get to the Cassville sideline. Breaks a tackle at the 20 and dives out to the 25. But will they give him the 25? His knee may have come down just short. We got one line judge on the 25, the other one coming in on the 24. We'll see if they get together, and looks like they are going to put the nose of the football touching the 25-yard line. So Cassville gets their first possession of the night, trailing 7-0. And the Wildcats break huddle and come up to the line of scrimmage. Bodie Rose up under center, split backfield behind him. Receivers right and left. Hernandez out to the right. Garrett Ewing out wide to the left. And they give the ball to Wilson on 1st down. Trying to take it off right tackle, and Wilson able to move ahead to the 26. Picks up 1 hard-earned yard, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 9. Wilson, a big night last week against Springfield Catholic, ran for over 170 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also hauled in a touchdown pass to help the Wildcats pick up the win, 45-0 over the Fighting Irish. They find themselves trailing here early on in this one, halfway through the opening quarter. It's 7-0 Lamar. Unbalanced to the right, They bring a man in motion back to the left. Bodie Rose is going to run with the football, and he is hit back behind the line of scrimmage and is dropped for a loss. Flying through and making the tackle. Is that number 37? It was Keaton Pagash, another senior. They've got several of them. And he drops Rose back at the 24 for a loss of 2, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 11. So Cassville facing their first 3rd down situation of the night. Hernandez goes wide to the right side. Ewing comes out to the left along with Isaac Hadlow. Split backfield. Rose looking to throw. Pass is caught out at the 30-yard line by Ewing, and then Ewing has a couple of defenders draped all over him. He's able to pick up about 6 yards, get about half of what they needed to pick up the first down. It'll bring up 4th and a long 4. So Rose gets the completion to Ewing for 6 yards. But it brings up 4th and 4, and Cassville sends the punting unit on. Hernandez awaits the snap, and he gets the kick away. Bounces at the 38, scooped up back at the 29 by Ngugi. And Ngugi gets the sidelines. He's across the 50 into Cassville territory. Sprints inside the 40, lowers the helmet and shoulder pads and takes on contact, takes a lick, and is knocked out of bounds before he can get to the 35.
Ngugi showing great speed. We see it in the return game. We just saw it right there in the punt game. Hernandez has done a great job all season punting the football. Ngugi able to break containment and get right down that Wildcat sideline for a big return.
So they will take over with a short field at the Cassville 37. 4 minutes left to go here in the opening quarter. Lamar leading 7-0. Wilhite goes in motion, and we've got movement across the line. And this one may go against the defense. And it is against the Wildcats. So each team has got a 5-yard flag against them here in the early going. And it'll move the ball down to the 32. And it'll bring up 1st and 5.
And as a defensive lineman, when you're going up against a bigger offensive line, you're trying to get any edge you could get, and to be able to jump that snap count may be your only chance.
Hahn going to run the ball. He's got a seam along the left side, takes it inside the 25, picks up the first down as he is finally brought down at around the 22-yard line after a gain of 9, maybe 10 yards.
Hahn, sophomore quarterback.
It's a gain of 10. 1st and 10 Tigers.
Tigers dealing with some injuries as well, just like everybody else this time of year.
Yeah, Joel Beshore, their starting quarterback, was out last week against Nevada, and the backup last week was a sophomore, Alex Wilkerson, but he is nursing a sore hamstring, so Hahn is getting the quarterbacking duties here tonight. Around the left end goes the ball carrier, and that is Davis. Davis making man miss and then breaks a couple of tackles and finally knocked out of bounds inside the 10, down at about the 6 or 7 yard line, and it'll be 1st and goal Tigers.
Terrell Davis, senior running back, 6 foot, 180 pounds. We've seen the speed out of him tonight. This time we saw some elusiveness as he's able to work his way across the field down the Tiger sideline.
Yeah, it was a gain of nearly 17, and Davis already 57 yards unofficially and a touchdown on his first 6 carries of the night. It's 1st and goal from the 5. Tigers already lead 7-0. And the man comes in motion is Davis. Resets on the left side. Hahn going to fake a pitch and then make a quick dash towards the goal line, and he is going to be dropped just shy of the end zone as they take him down and will place the ball at the 2. So it's a gain of 3 for Hahn. It'll bring up 2nd down and goal.
You brought up 2 names very familiar with Lamar football, and Beshore and Wilkerson. Both of those families, it seems like, have had a player on this Lamar football team for as long as I can remember.
Boy, that's the truth. So now they go power right, and I mean there are a ton of them, and now they reset power left, and Wilkerson, the older Wilkerson, will get the snap, and he takes it right up the middle and into the end zone, and that was Austin Wilkerson, the senior, That's the first time he's touched the ball tonight, and he takes it in for the 2-yard touchdown.
Just a mass of bodies on that offensive line of the Tigers, and when you get a couple of running backs lead blocking behind that, it's going to be very tough to stop them in goal line short yardage situations.
So it takes the Tigers 5 plays to go this 37 yards after the good punt return by Ngugi, and it's 13-0. Awaiting the extra point try from Jose Juarez, and the kick is on the way, and it is good. So with 2:18 left to go in the opening quarter, the Tigers now lead over the Wildcats 14-0. Again, tonight's first quarter brought to you by Michael's Hardware. They'll give you your to-do list, a game plan that's sure to be a winner. Michael's Hardware, friendly folks, serious hardware. Well, a long, time-consuming drive for the first touchdown of the night for the Tigers. And then they got short field to work with and took them only 2 minutes to punch it in there. And the Wildcats will be playing from behind here in the first half. So the Wildcats now awaiting the kickoff. Anthony's, Wilson, and Hernandez dropping back deep, awaiting the kick of Ty Wilhite.
Wildcats, again, having an opportunity in the first Lamar Tiger drive to get the Tigers off the field. Just a great individual effort by the Tiger quarterback to pick up a tough 4th and long, which ultimately ended in touchdown on the board for the Tigers.
Wilhite tees it up at the 40-yard line, awaiting the whistle, and there it is. And he approaches, puts the ball in the air. A line drive kick this time down the right hash. Wilson fields it back around the 13-yard line. Reverses across the field, trying to get to the wall. Makes a cut at the 20, breaks the tackle, gets across the 25, and we got a flag thrown back at the 25 as Wilson is finally knocked down out around the 30-yard line, but that flag trailing the play comes at a bad spot on the field if you're the return team. And they do signal against the Wildcats.
Long way to go as Wilson received that kick near the Wildcat sideline, ran it all the way across the field, as you said, trying to catch that wall and get up the Tiger sideline. Nearly made it, but you're exactly right. Where that flag is on the field, that's going to cost the Wildcats some yards.
It's a 10-yard penalty against Cassville. It'll move it back to the 14-yard line. So the Wildcats will be starting deep in their own territory here with 2:10 left to go in the opening quarter, trailing 14-0. Bodie Rose, single back behind him. Motion man is Wilson. Here comes Rose. He's got some room around the edge. Nice seal block by Jacobson, and Rose is off to the races. He's got to beat Wilkerson. He's across the 50. He's at the 40, and is finally run down from behind at the 30, and a flag comes in on the horse collar, and he is going to get some yardage added on to that run, and Bodie Rose is shaken up.
Yeah, dangerous tackle when you get pulled over from the back. I think it's probably a situation where he may have lost his air. He hit pretty flat on his back on that sideline. I don't think it's a lot of times with the horse collar, you're thinking about ankles, knees, things like that, but he was pulled straight over and just landed flat on his back on the sideline. But a huge play. Great call right there. Great job by the young quarterback, seeing all that green grass out in front of him, and he just took off, showed some great speed. Wilkerson eventually caught him, but the horse collar is going to add another 15 onto this long run.
It was a 56-yard carry for Bodie Rose, and now another 15 yards added on to the end, takes it all the way down to the 15-yard line.
Rose will have to come out for at least one play. If it's the wind, he'll be in shortly. If it's something else, we may not see him for a few plays here.
So the quarterback for this time will be Garrett Ewing. He's got split backfield behind him. Twin receivers to the right. They give the ball to Wilson. Wilson gets a block from Jacobson, makes a little quick cutback move, and slices his way down to about the 12-yard line. Is able to pick up about 2, maybe 3 yards.
Yeah, against this Tiger defense, the holes along that offensive line, if you're able to open them, they're going to stay open for a very, very short time. And Wilson really tried to make a hard cut and get through there, short gain. And as we thought, looked like the wind knocked out of Rose as he comes back on the field as the crowd appreciates his toughness.
Yeah, they give him a big cheer as he heads back out onto the field. Twin receivers to the left this time. Bodie Rose back under center. Looks to throw, and he throws it over the head of the intended receiver, Garrett Ewing. First incompletion of the night for the Wildcats.
Yeah, strange play right there. I'm not sure. He had two receivers in a pretty close proximity to each other. Ball was thrown a little bit high there to Ewing, but Hernandez and Ewing were maybe within 5 yards of each other there. I'm not sure that was the exact play design.
And by the way, I neglected to mention after Rose got injured that the Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal Sales. Find them online at superiormetalsalesinc.com. Ewing goes in motion, passes through behind the quarterback. They pitch it back to Jacobson. Cutback move at the 10, and he takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats.
Hey, good vision right there by Jacobson. Took that toss sweep. A lot of times you see him take it on around the edge. Jacobson eyes up. He sees the cutback against the grain, went right down the middle of the field, took a little contact right around the 3-yard line, but on into the end zone, and that's how you get back in a football game.
Wildcat touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance. For auto, home, health, life, and commercial insurance, see the folks at Willis Insurance on the square in Cassville and in the Bridgeway Plaza in Shell Knob. Stop by and get a quote today. Peter Littlefield to attempt the point after, and the kick is on the way and good. And with 1:11 left to go here in the first quarter, Cassville has cut the Lamar lead in half. The Wildcats now trail 14-7. The Wildcat Extra Point brought to you by the Barbecue Station. Get your bib on at the Barbecue Station, 900 Main in Cassville, or you can call them for your next catered event at 847-0470. 13-yard run from Bryson Jacobson has given the Wildcats their first points of the night. A big run by Bodie Rose, and then a penalty at the end of the run set up Cassville deep in Lamar territory, and the Wildcats then were able to punch it in and cut the Tiger lead in half. Peter Littlefield now set to kick it away. The Wildcat kickoff brought to you as always by Baywash Car Wash. Clean car is a happy car, and that makes you feel good.
Hey, a drive like that, big long run by your quarterback, personal foul type penalty, get your offense fired up and get your football team fired up a little bit. Get some extra yardage there and work your way on into the end zone. Again, great run there by Jacobson. And that's something that these coaches are watching on film. Hey, that cutback run worked right there. We may need to go back to that.
Littlefield kicks this one high but short, and Hahn fields it at the 16-yard line, and right up the middle of the field he goes in a big hole, and Hahn lowers his head at the 45-yard line and takes on contact and dives out to the 49.
Wildcat kicker Littlefield coming up, able to make contact with Hahn and bring him down.
So again, Lamar working with good field position, just shy of midfield with 1:04 left to go here in the opening quarter. The Tigers lead at 14-7.
These Lamar, they're special teams players. They're specialty guys, wide receivers, running backs, even Hahn, the quarterback. When they get the football in the open field, man, they're all fast. They all run well. You just kind of hold your breath, wait for them to be tackled.
Hahn gets the snap, big hole up the middle again, inside the 45, blasts his way down to the 40 and picks up a Tiger first down.
Hahn playing quarterback, but he's essentially just another running back coming out of the backfield. Just a direct snap in the shotgun formation, off tackle run. Tigers get a surge on that side. He fires through the line of scrimmage, tackled in the secondary.
It's a gain of 11. First and 10 Tigers at the Cassville 40. We're down to 40 seconds and counting left here in the opening quarter. Lamar leading 14-7. Hahn from the shotgun gives the handoff to Davis. Davis trying to slide down the line and get to the corner, and somebody reached in and grabbed him around the leg, held him up, and then more black shirts all over the running back, and they'll drop him for no gain on the play.
Yeah, Davis, we've seen him run tonight, but there's been a couple of carries he's had that this Wildcat defense has really sniffed it out, been all over him, and again, tackled for no gain.
So 2nd and 10 for the Tigers at the Cassville 40. Play again coming in from the sidelines. Davis will join Hahn in the backfield this time. And the officials now blow the whistle as Lamar will not get the snap off before the first quarter comes to a close. After 12 minutes of play here from Wildcat Stadium, the Lamar Tigers leading the Cassville Wildcats 14-7. We'll step aside and be back with quarter number 2. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Back with you here at Cassville. The Wildcats trailing the Tigers 14-7 as we get set to start tonight's second quarter. Second quarter is brought to you by Roark Diesel. They're just north of Cassville on Highway 37. They're the leader in the region for diesel performance. If your engine's not just running right, take it to Roark Diesel. They specialize in diesel performance. You can also find them online at roarkdiesel.com. Second down and 10, Lamar at the Cassville 40-yard line for the first play of quarter number 2. Cooper Hahn gives it to Davis. Big hole up the middle. Davis breaks a tackle and nearly slipped through the arms of Jake Anthony's to take it to the house, but Anthony's knocked him off balance, and he falls down at the 24-yard line, and another first down for the Tigers.
Yeah, touchdown saving tackle in the secondary there by Anthony's. Just able to get enough of the legs to trip up Davis because there is nobody behind Anthony's out there to make a tackle.
So first and 10 Tigers at the 24 now. They lead at 14-7 early on here in quarter number 2. Cassville with a 5-man front, new quarterback, and it's Joel Beshore. He's in there, and he throws a pass, and the catch is made by Will Height. Makes a man miss at the 10, and then gets hammered out of bounds. We'll see where they spot him out of bounds over there on the far sideline. He does have enough yardage for a first down. As for the first time tonight, the full-time starting quarterback, Joel Beshore, throws the pass as he hooks up with Will Height, and looks like they spot him down at about the 7. And that's a pickup of nearly 17 yards. So first and goal, Tigers. And Beshore stays in there at quarterback. Fakes the handoff, throws over the middle, man wide open, and it is Wilkerson. And that is Austin Wilkerson for the touchdown.
Play action pass right there, short yardage situation. Wildcats, obviously lining up, try to stop the run right there. Little fake down block. Wilkerson leaks, got behind everyone. Good pass, good catch. Tiger touchdown.
So Joel Beshore comes in, completes 2 passes, and the Tigers score. Jose Juarez in to attempt the point after, and the kick is up and good. And with 11:11 left to go before halftime, Lamar back up by 14 points. They lead it 21-7.
Tough situation down there, short yardage. Tigers have been inside the 5. They've gone with a heavy front and just road rage into the end zone. So you try to stack that line of scrimmage. You got to stop the run first and foremost. But nice play fake. And just a dump right over the linebackers' heads to Wilkerson in the end zone. And
we had talked about in the pregame, Joel Beshore, starting quarterback for the Tigers, got dinged up a couple of weeks ago. Didn't play last week against Nevada. Their backup quarterback was Alex Wilkerson, a sophomore. He's kind of nursing a sore hamstring, so Cooper Hahn, another sophomore, has been the quarterback for the bulk of tonight up to this point. He's already ran for 49 yards, and he's also completed a pass, but that time they bring in the senior, Joel Beshore, and he completes 1 pass to get him the first down inside the 10, and then completes the second pass for the Tigers touchdown.
And that's part of what we spoke about in the pregame is how Coach Beshore trying to make this team a little more balanced, at least give you the option that they're going to throw it a little bit. But, man, the way they run the football, sometimes you just think they throw just because they want to.
Will Hyde, a little pooch kick this time, calling for a fair catch at the 35-yard line. Is Canyon King, and Cassville will have some good starting field position here as they spot him down at the Wildcat 36.
Well, Wildcats moved the football, big play on offense. They moved the ball down the field, got points in their last possession. 11:11 to go here until halftime, so lots of time on the clock.
Again, tonight's second quarter brought to you by Roark Diesel. They've been serving Cassville and the surrounding area with a huge selection of diesel performance products since 2006. Give them a call at 847-6560. Pair of flankers and a lone setback, and they give the ball to Wilson. Wilson trying to get a block at the edge, and Wilhite is all over that play. And somebody was out here taking on the lead blocker. I couldn't tell whether that was 49 or 21 for the Tigers, but they were able to cause enough disruption. It allowed Ty Wilhite to come in and make the stop for no gain, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, Trey Wilson trying to use that speed to get to the edge. And that's a tough thing to do against this Tiger defense. They move so well, and as that play, as you said, first defender comes up, takes on the lead blocker, and really Wilson nowhere to go.
Bodie Rose going to run to the short side this time, and he has to hang on to the football. Is reaching in and trying to strip it away was Tyler Ansley, but Rose is able to hang on, picks up about a yard, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 9.
Rose got up a little slowly right there. I don't think it's from the earlier play. It looked like maybe he got a helmet right on that hip bone. He's trying to rub it out just a little bit here. But tough kid, going to hang in there.
So 3rd down and long, we'll just go ahead and call it 10 because he just got about a half a yard on that carry. Split backfield behind Rose, looking to throw. Quick pass, and it's in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, popped up into the air, and Lamar says they intercepted the football, as going after the ball was Cameron Sturgill, and the officials are saying he did get his hand underneath, or did they? Yep, they're moving the chains on the far side,
yeah.
So Sturgill was able to dive and get his hands underneath the ball before it hit the ground, and the deflected pass results in an interception.
Yeah, the Wildcats trying to run that quick slant to Ewing, and the corner on that side was right with him coming across the field. Just as the ball got there, there was contact. The ball popped in the air, the old tip drill, and Sturgill right there at the right place at the right time.
So the Tigers take back over. Hahn back at quarterback, fakes the handoff to Wilhite and runs it up the middle again. And Cooper Hahn to the 38-yard line for a short gain of only a yard. The Cassville defense does a nice job there, collapsing on the Tiger quarterback, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, defensive line, better job stiffening up there on 1st down. And that's one way to have success against this Tiger offense, is to not let them have success on 1st down. And when you're able to make plays right near that line of scrimmage, that's where things work out better for your defense.
So 2nd down and long for Lamar. Twin receivers to the left. Hahn going to run it again, and this time Cassville's defense slams the door on him again between the tackles. Hahn is able to get to the 36 maybe. Yep, they are going to give him the 36, so only a 2-yard pickup, and it'll bring up 3rd and 7.
Yeah, and that's what you'd like to see right there, the Wildcat defensive lineman eating up those blockers so the Wildcat linebackers can come in, step up in those holes, and tackle the running backs.
Lamar 1 for 2 on 3rd down conversion tries so far here in the first half, this time facing 3rd and 7 at the Cassville 36-yard line. Hahn brings the man in motion. Now he stops and goes back. And they hand the ball off to Wilkerson. Austin Wilkerson trying to get to the sidelines, and he got hit down the line of scrimmage by the Cassville defender over there, trying to get a number, I believe. That was
Hernandez.
Hernandez,
corner,
yep.
Yeah.
Got up to him and got into his legs and slowed him down, and it'll bring up 4th down and 3.
Yeah, good read there. And again, right up front, the Wildcat defense, their defensive line doing a nice job not allowing Wilkerson to go downfield, forcing him to bounce a play outside.
So 4th down, and the Tigers, who have already converted 1 4th down, are going for it again. Hahn throwing to the short side. Man getting to the stakes and turning around, makes the catch, and then turns it up the sidelines and picks up the 1st down.
That's a well-coached wide receiver right there. And again, the Tigers, the passing game is not their strength, but they're certainly capable. But the receivers know this is how much I need to pick up for the 1st down. They run just past it, turn around, and wait for the football. On the flip side of that, if you're a defender, you've got to know how much they need to get as well. You can't give that cushion over there and just let them turn around right in front of you and catch the football.
That was Davis on the catch, and it moves the chains for the Tigers. They lead at 21-7 here, not quite halfway through the second quarter. Nagugi with the inside handoff, gets a block at the 20, inside the 10, breaks a tackle at the 5 and diving for the pylon. Trying to see what the side judge over here says.
Call him short.
Yep, they're going to spot him out at the 2. We got a flag all the way back here at the 23, which is close to the line of scrimmage. Kind of had our view blocked by the Cassville sideline. It looks like it's going to go against Lamar and take away a nice run by Ian Nagugi.
Nagugi brought down out of bounds right at the pylon by Jacobson. But the holding, or maybe that was a block in the back call, going to bring it back. Wildcats catch a break here.
They bring it all the way back to the 36. So it was a gain of 2 yards. And then the penalty against the Tigers. Bring it back out to the 33-yard line. And it will be first and nearly 20 to go. We'll call it first and 18. High snap to Cooper Hahn, running to the short side of the field, gets a block at the 30-yard line. He's down the sidelines at the 20, lowers his shoulder, and is driven out of bounds down at the 5.
And again, Jacobson from his safety position coming over and bringing Hahn down right just outside the 5-yard line, it appears.
Yep, they're going to put him at the 6 is where they say he went out of bounds. First and goal, Tigers.
But another lengthy run from this Tiger offense.
27 yards on the carry. And a first down for the Tigers with 8:05 left to go before halftime. Lamar leading 21-7. Hahn again from the shotgun, all alone in the backfield, brings a man in motion, gives him the football, trying to get outside, has to cut back inside, and he sneaks into the end zone. And that was Aiden Sheet, a sophomore, came in motion. He wanted to go out and around the block on the corner, but Cassville's defense came up and turned him back in, and he made a quick cut and sprinted into the end zone.
We talk about this Wildcat offense. When they're clicking, they're really spreading the ball around, allowing multiple offensive players to get into the end zone. This Lamar team is, and the extra point is missed. Wide right this time.
Yeah, so he had been 3 for 3 on point afters, but that one no good. So the score remains 27-7 in favor of Lamar with 8 minutes left to go here in the first half.
But to my point, this Lamar team, there's so many different guys that they give the football to, throw the football to, that have opportunities to take it in the end zone. And we've seen 4 different Tigers find the end zone tonight.
So the Wildcats now trailing 27-7 here. Still a lot of time left to go in the first half. Tonight's second quarter, again, brought to you by Roark Diesel. You can find them online at roarkdiesel.com. Give them a call at 847-6560 or drop by their location just north of Cassville on Highway 37. Anthony's, Hernandez, and Wilson back at their own 10, awaiting the kick of Ty Wilhite. Wilhite taking his time. Now he puts a leg into it. Drives it down the right hash. Wilson hauls it in back at the 15-yard line. Bring it right straight up the field with a quick burst of speed out across the 25, but he is stopped short of the 30. They say his knee went down at the 27, and that's where Cassville will start the drive. So Cassville down by 3 scores here. Wildcat offense breaks huddle, comes up to the line of scrimmage. Ewing and Hernandez go wide to the right, split backfield behind Bodie Rose. Tight end Hadlow resets around to the right side. And Rose is going to run to the right side after faking the handoff to Wilson. And Bodie Rose is hit and dropped. Was able to pick up about a half a yard, and it'll bring up second down and long.
Wildcats trying to run the option game here. Well defended along the defensive line there by the Tigers.
So second down and 9 now facing Cassville. Canyon King now the receiver here on the right side with Garrett Ewing. They keep the backfield split, Jacobson and Wilson. And Rose looking to throw. They try to throw it underneath to Ewing, and the pass sails over his head, incomplete, and it'll bring up third down.
And once again trying to run the slant. But as the ball sailed a little high on Rose there over Ewing's head, 3 Tiger defenders in the neighborhood. They're very, very good in coverage back there. And again, we talk about their speed, but it's so evident out here. I mean, you have to talk about it.
So third down and long. Cassville 0 for 3 on third down conversion tries so far here in the first half. This time receivers right and left. They go with double flankers, and Rose is going to run. Now he's looking to throw, maybe. And he fires one underneath and incomplete to Garrett Ewing. He was covered by Austin Wilkerson, and it'll bring up fourth down.
Rose had used his speed to give himself a little more time, sprinting out to the right. Pretty good coverage by Wilkerson right there. Rose, again, throwing on the run. Ball a little bit low out there to Ewing right in front of the Wildcat bench.
And he had a couple of options over here on the Cassville sideline, but the pursuit was coming from behind, and he was running out of room, and he had to make a quick decision, and pass was incomplete. Hernandez gets a nice leg into this one, a high kick, bounces at the 39, takes a Cassville bounce the first hop, but then a Lamar Tiger bounce when it hits the ground the second time, and it's downed by Schellenberger back at the 34-yard line.
No pretty good punt, no return there. If you have an opportunity to take away the return game from the Tigers, that will help your cause as well.
Second punt of the night by Cassville. .38-yard kick, and as you said, no return. First and 10 Tigers at their own 34. 7 minutes left to go before intermission. Lamar leading 27-7. And we've got another new quarterback. And nope, that's the old quarterback back in there. I started to say Wilkerson, but it's Beshore. And a runner, Davis, that will not go down. Terrell Davis comes over here to the Cassville sideline. Looked like he was going to be shoved out of play at the 40. Somehow kept his feet and kept his balance. Picked up an extra 2 or 3 yards and then took a vicious hit, but held onto the football out at the 45 and picks up a first down.
Yeah, looked to be heading right towards the sideline. Just kind of hit the brakes. Wildcat had a handful of jersey, but he was able to shake it, pick up a few extra yards, and the first down.
So first and 10 Tigers at their own 45. Beshore back at quarterback again. And he pitches the ball back to Nagugi. Nagugi trying to get to the edge, but Cassville turns him back in, and he takes it to the 50-yard line. Picks up close to 5 yards. It'll bring up second down and 5.
Nagugi, junior, 5'9", 170, but extremely quick with the football in his hands.
Halfway through the second quarter, Lamar leading 27-7. The Tigers with the football at midfield. Second down and 5, Lamar. Beshore gives the inside handoff to Austin Wilkerson, and Wilkerson is hit. The ball comes free. Cassville's got it.
Yeah.
The Wildcats come up with the turnover, as each team has now turned it over tonight, and Cassville will take over at their own 49-yard line.
Yeah, really nice job. Wilkerson trying to go around that right edge, made a cut to go downfield. I don't know if it was the impact or if one of the Wildcat defenders was able to get a hand in and rip that football away, but the Wildcats are going to take over near midfield. 5 minutes, just under 6 minutes until halftime. Wildcats have an opportunity to go down here and make this a ball game again.
So Cassville quickly gets it back. I formation this time behind Bodie Rose. Fakes the handoff, looking to throw. fires it up top, trying to get it to Wilson coming out of the backfield, and then Wilson had to turn into defender as it was pretty good coverage over there on the far side by Keaton Pegas. And it falls incomplete. 2nd down and 10, Cassville.
A little play action, kind of semi-roll to the right. Wildcats are on the far hash mark. They got Wilson coming out of the backfield on a wheel route down the Tiger sideline. Had excellent coverage, running right there with Wilson. Wilson, in fact, I believe had to turn into a defender to block the ball away.
So 2nd down and 10, Wildcats. Split backfield behind Rose. Rose is going to run in behind those 2 blockers, Jacobson and Wilson, trying to create a hole for him, and he is unable to find a hole as he is dropped at the 50 for a pickup of only 1, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 9.
Wildcats trying to run that quarterback sweep. Lead blockers out front. He had his blockers out front looking for people to block. They had hats on bodies, but from the backside, the play took a little longer to develop than it needed to. From the backside, defender able to get his arms around Rose and drop him for a short gain.
So 3rd and long for the Wildcats with 5 minutes left to go before halftime. The ball resting at midfield. Hernandez and Ewing wide to the left. Hadlow to the right. They bring Ewing back in motion to the right side. Bodie Rose is going to try to run. He's got some room around the corner. He's at the 45, breaks the tackles, got the 1st down as he takes it out of bounds on the Lamar sideline. Great second effort by Bodie Rose, and he'll move the chains for the Wildcats.
Yeah, Rose looked like he was going to be stopped about 3 yards short right there, but he was able to fight through that tackle, get across the yardage he needed, took a shot on the Tiger sideline, but a big 1st down picked up there for the Wildcats.
Wildcat 1st down brought to you by Superior Metal. They're first in metal roofing. Look them up on Facebook or YouTube, and then request a free quote by calling 888-364-9527. 4:42 now left to go in the half. Cassville with a 1st down at the Lamar 39-yard line. Rose inside handoff to Wilson, waiting for a block. Wanted to cut back and no room to run. Finally just takes it straight ahead and picks up 2 or 3 yards. It's one side judge. Let's see where they put it down. They are going to put it at the 37 for a gain of 2.
Yeah, Wilson taking that inside handoff, trying to work around the right edge, running very patiently, just waiting for a seam, waiting for something to appear, and just very well defended there as the defensive line and linebacking core of the Tigers stretching that play right down the line of scrimmage.
So 2nd down and 8 now facing Cassville. 4 minutes left to go in the half. Lamar with a 4-man front. Bodie Rose pitches the ball back to Jacobson. Slides away from one defender, takes it inside the 35 down to the 34. Nice little slide step there by Bryson Jacobson, enabled him to pick up a couple of extra yards, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 5.
It's like a timeout on the field. The Wildcats scored a touchdown on that very similar play. Toss sweep. Jacobson, again, looking for the cutback lane. As you called it, a little slide move back to the inside. Decent gain right there, but still going to bring up about a 3rd and 5.
So timeout on the field. It's brought to you by Security Bank. Any bank can cash checks, accept deposits, and make loans, but the distinguishing factor between banks is their level of service to their customer. Whether it's a loan decision or processing of your bank statement, all the decisions and services of Security Bank are generated by their local bank staff in a prompt, fair, and professional manner. Security Bank, member FDIC. 3rd down and about 4.5 yards to go for the Wildcats, just inside the Lamar 35-yard line. We're down to 3:45 left to go before halftime. Lamar leading 27-7. Cassville had cut it to a 7-point game after a touchdown run from Bryson Jacobson. But then a pair of unanswered scores by the Tigers have pushed it back to a 20-point lead. Big play right here, 3rd and 5. Ewing goes in motion. Here comes Rose behind the block of Jacobson, and run down from behind and stopped short of the 30-yard line. He needed to get to the 29 to pick up the 1st down. Bodie Rose a little slow in getting up. And they say his knee went down at the 32 after a pickup of 2, and it'll bring up 4th and 2.
Yeah, Rose has had a physical first half tonight. He's going to be a little sore going in at halftime. Certainly tomorrow morning he's going to be feeling the effects of this game.
Well, the Wildcats are right now lining up to go for it on 4th and about 2.5 yards. They're in Peter Littlefield's field goal range, but they trail by 20, so On 4th and short, Cassville lining up to go for it. Bodie Rose pitches back to Jacobson. Jacobson diving underneath the defense, trying to get to the 29, and it looks like he's going to come up about a yard short.
Going to be a little short. I'm not sure that he wanted to dive right there. It looked like almost like he lost his footing a little bit as he was trying to make that cut back down the field. I don't think he's going to make it here.
They spot the ball just shy of the 30. They needed to get to the 29 to pick up the first down, and Cassville turns it over on downs, and Lamar will take over at their own 30 with 2:53 left to go here in the first half.
Tough luck there for the Wildcats. Had a little drive going, just not able to convert.
Man comes in motion. That's Will Height. Cooper Hahn back in at quarterback, and he's going to run the football and takes it straight ahead to the 35-yard line and picks up 5 yards.
Now you look at Cooper Hahn, young player for the Tigers, runs the football very hard, gets behind that offensive line, runs with pretty good vision. Again, just another weapon coming at you. There's so many bodies out there. If you're defensive coordinator, you've got to account for. It's very difficult.
So 2nd down and a long 5 for the Tigers at their own 35-yard line. Hahn stays at quarterback. And he's going to run again. And that time I'm not 100% sure he really wanted to run because he was kind of looking around and nobody was there. So he tucked it under and tried to get what he could. And he only gets 1, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, that time defended very well by this Wildcat defense.
So the Tigers check into the sidelines. Play coming in. We're under 2 minutes left to go before halftime. Lamar leading 27-7. 3rd and about 5 to go for Lamar. They send trips to the left side. And Beshore back at quarterback, and he's been throwing the ball, and he does just that. Down the line to Will Height, trying to set up a little pass behind a couple of possible blockers, but Cassville's defense all over that one. Hernandez over here, along with Garrett Ewing, Jake Anthony's, also Angel Vale, all in there to bottle that one up. It picks up only a couple of yards, and it'll bring up 4th and 2.
Yeah, flying to the ball, and that's what you want to see out of your defense. You want to see a ball hawking, a lot of pursuit, and the Wildcats did just that. And they're going to force the Tigers to bring the punt team on the field.
So Lamar has yet to punt here in the first half. Ty Wilhite set to kick it away. Snaps off center just a little bit, but Wilhite gathers it in and gets a good leg into this one. Drives Ewing back to the 29-yard line, and then Ewing drops the football. There's a scramble for it back at the 25, and it looks like Cassville has retained possession. Trey Wilson picking up the loose football and keeping it for the Wildcats.
Nice hustle there by Wilson. Ewing trying to make a play out there, make something happen. It's tough in the punt game as a return man to have to run up to the football coming down at you and then trying to make the catch at the waist or just below, and Ewing not able to secure it, but Wilson right there to fall on the ball.
So only 33 seconds left before halftime. Cassville starting at their own 25-yard line. Bodie Rose fakes the handoff. Now he gives it the other way to Wilson. Nice ball faking there by Rose. Faked it to Jacobson, then looked like he was going to run, but he gave it on the end around to Trey Wilson, and Wilson comes back against the grain and takes it all the way out to the 35. And are they going to give him the first down or not? Nope, looks like we got a timeout called, so that'll give the officials a chance. Now they're waving first down Wildcats. Wildcat First Down brought to you by Superior Metal. They're first in custom ag buildings. You can find them on Facebook or YouTube. And then call for a free quote at 888-364-9527 or find them online at superiormetalsalesinc.com.
Well, play like the Wildcats just ran is effective because of the ball faking in with the way Rose carried his fake out. He ran all the way around the edge, all the way near the Tiger sideline as Wilson was coming back against the grain to the middle of the field with the ball.
Timeout on the field is brought to you by Security Bank. Do you want mobile banking, ATMs, multiple branches, and all types of loans, and still be able to go into the lobby and see your personal banker? You just described Security Bank of Southwest Missouri, member FDIC. 23 seconds left here in the half. 1st and 10 Wildcats at their own 35. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Rose back in the pocket. Launches one. He's got Garrett Ewing, and the catch is bobbled. And did he hang on? Yes, he did.
Wow.
Garrett Ewing had the ball hit him in the hands at the 35 of the Tigers, bobbled it, regained control at the 30, bobbled it again, and then hauled it in down at the 28. Cassville hustling up to the line. They spiked the football to stop the clock with 13 seconds left in the half, and they're within striking distance on a great 1-2 catch there by Garrett Ewing.
Yeah, great throw under a little bit of pressure right there. Rose stepped into the throw, put it out there. Ewing able to beat his man, get behind the secondary. I don't know if he scores, if he catches the football cleanly, but the fact that he was able to corral it after the bobble at full speed and come down with a football, huge play. Wildcats knocking on the door. Got an opportunity right here.
It was a 37-yard pass completion to Ewing. First down, Cassville. The first down brought to you by Superior Metal. Find them online at superiormetalsalesinc.com. Little pass coming down the line of scrimmage. Again, this one's to Ewing. And Ewing catches it and scampers out of bounds at the 15. Stops the clock with just under 8 seconds left to go in the half. And it's another first down for the Wildcats.
Hey, heads-up play there by Ewing. He caught the football, saw some room out in front. He also knew he was going to be tackled. Made a beeline to that sideline to get out of bounds and stop this clock.
A pickup of 13 yards. First down, Wildcats. The first down brought to you by Superior Metal. First in color selection. Find their gallery online at superiormetalsalesinc.com. Cassville trying to cut into this 20-point lead right now enjoyed by the Tigers. There's still 8 seconds left to go in the half. The Wildcats at the Lamar 15-yard line. Man goes in motion. It's Wilson. Rolling to his right is Rose. Rose with some time. Now pressure coming. Puts it underneath the wing and rushes down the sidelines. And he gets back to the line of scrimmage and maybe a yard or two extra. The clock is stopped with 2 seconds left in the half, and the Wildcats will have one more opportunity. They spot him out at the 9 after a pickup of, or excuse me, at the 14. It's at the 14 after a pickup of 1.
The Wildcats are going to kick this little field on the field. Heads up by Rose there to get out of bounds when he did.
So the tee is down at the 21, a 31-yard field goal attempt. No wind from Littlefield. Snap back, ball down. The kick is up. It's got plenty of distance, but it hooks wide to the left. Kicking from the right hash. We saw last week at Springfield Catholic, he hooked one and hit the upright. And that one from the right hash hooks wide to the left, and we have reached halftime. Wildcats unable to get more points on the board before they head to the locker room. As we hit the midway point of this Big 8 game, and they head to the locker room, the Lamar Tigers lead the Cassville Wildcats 27-7. We'll take a break and be back with the Shoemaker Tire Halftime Show. You're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Network. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back with you here at Cassville. We are at halftime. The Lamar Tigers leading the Cassville Wildcats 27-7. Role models are more important than ever in today's society. You can serve as a role model for others the next time you display good sportsmanship at a high school athletic event. Good sports are also winners and are vital to preserving our fine sports traditions. So the next time you attend a sporting event, remember to be a good sport and help rekindle the spirit of citizenship. Sportsmanship reminder brought to you by Access Family Care with locations in Cassville, Neosho, Aurora, Mount Vernon, and Joplin. Well, it's time for the Shoemaker Tire halftime show. Shoemaker Tire, family-owned and operated in Golden, Missouri. They've been serving customers in southwest Missouri and northwest Arkansas since 1961. Find them online at shoemakertire.com. Lamar Tigers leading by 20 here at the break. They got on the board first over the Cassville Wildcats tonight as they got the opening kickoff and drove it 11 plays, 80 yards, took 5.5 minutes off the clock, and punched it in on a 6-yard run by Terrell Davis, and the PAT gave the Tigers the early 7-0 lead. With 2:18 left to go in the first quarter, a 2-yard run from Austin Wilkerson, and that put Lamar up 14-0. But then Cassville rallied. They got a 4-play, 86-yard drive. Big run during that play from Bodie Rose, or during that drive, I should say. And it set up the 13-yard run from Bryson Jacobson and Cassville after the PAT by Peter Littlefield cut the Tiger lead in half. But then with 11:11 to go in the first half, a 7-yard pass from Joel Beshore to Austin Wilkerson made it 21-7 Tigers. And then with 8 minutes left to go in the first half, a 5-yard run by Aiden Sheet. And the PAT was no good. 27-7 Tigers leading here at the break.
Yeah, lopsided score, but I don't think that tells the tale necessarily. And let me tell you why. Wildcats driving, had a 4th down, trying to make a conversion as they're driving down the field. Running back slips, trying to make a cut. If he maintains his footing, I believe he gets a first down drive, stays alive. Potentially you end up with a score at the end of the series. Right, heading into halftime situation, you're lined up, field goal opportunity. Hooks a little bit left, it happens. But there's 10 points left on the field out there potentially for the Wildcats. Very easily you could be looking at a 10-point game, 27-17 game right now. Unfortunately for the Wildcats, they were not able to convert. And, what ifs don't win football games. But that's kind of what I like to talk about sometimes. And
and it gives the team.
Look at the bright side of things,
there
right?
you go. It gives the team some things to look at. They can say, hey, if we would have done this, if we would have done that, we'd be in this football game. Where you get into a game every once in a while where nothing goes your way,
right,
and you're just clawing uphill all the time, but that's not the case here tonight.
No, they're moving the football. I mean, they're moving the football against a very good defense. So, there are things to certainly build on coming out after halftime. So, 27-7, but it is that bad, but it's not necessarily that bad if you're in there talking to those kids at halftime right now.
Down by 20 here at the break. Your Cassville Wildcat broadcast team is brought to you by Les Jacobs Ford. They're your choice for genuine Ford service and parts at very affordable rates. They're your go-to shop for auto repair. Les Jacobs Ford in Cassville, the junctions of 76, 86, and 37 in Cassville, Missouri. Find them online at lesjacobsford.com. And your Apple and Google phone apps are brought to you courtesy of White Funeral Home and Crematory. Let them help lighten your load. Tonight's broadcast also brought to you in part by the Berry County Health Department. They offer a list of registered professionals who can help you with your needs if you're needing help building your dream home in the country or need repairs for your current septic system. You can find them online at berrycountyhealth.com or stop by the office at 65 Main Street in Cassville. You can also call for more information, 847-2114. 27-7 here at the break at Cassville. The Tigers leading the Wildcats. Lamar with the lead over Cassville as the Cassville Marching Band is performing their halftime routine. If you're watching on Web TV, you're enjoying that here during intermission. Tonight's halftime brought to you by Shoemaker Tire, people you can trust for tires. Visit them online at shoemakertire.com or drop by Highway 86 in Golden, Missouri. We'll step aside, let you hear from our sponsors. Back with more of the halftime show. After this, you're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Network. Back with you here at Cassville. We are at halftime. Tonight's halftime show brought to you by Shoemaker Tire. People you can trust for tires. Visit them online at shoemakertire.com. Give them a call, 417-271-3490. Shoemaker Tire, Highway 86 in Golden, Missouri. 27-7, Lamar leading Cassville here at the break. Looking at some other scores from around the Big 8 here in week number 8. Monette at Nevada. Nevada leading the Cubs at halftime, 42-7. East Newton has a 7-6 lead over Aurora over at Kelly Field at halftime. Seneca leading McDonald County down in Anderson, 21-7 at the break. Another halftime score, Reed Spring on top of Rogersville, 14-7. And late in the first half, Mount Vernon all over Marshfield, 31-6. One other game that we had talked about in the pregame, Springfield Catholic at Hollister, we have found out that that game is being played tomorrow. So they will play on Saturday, the Irish and the Hollister Tigers. And a couple of scores that folks here in Class 3 District 6 are keeping an eye on. Springfield Central leads Buffalo 8-6 in the first half, and Osage has a 14-6 lead over Southern Boone also in the first half. Some of the we'll start with the team stats here tonight before we look at the individual numbers. Lamar, 27 carries for 198 yards. They were 5 of 5 through the air for 39 yards for a total of 237 yards of offense. Tigers picked up 10 first downs. They turned it over once on a fumble. They were penalized 3 times for 30 yards, and Lamar punted once for 34 yards. Cassville, 16 carries for 103 yards on the ground. The Wildcats 3 of 8 through the air for 56 yards for a total of 159 yards of offense. Wildcats picking up 6 first downs. They also had a turnover on an interception. They were penalized twice for 15 yards and punted twice for a 40-yard average. Leading ball carrier for Lamar, their quarterback, Cooper Hahn, 11 carries, 85 yards, but right behind him, Terrell Davis, 84 yards on 8 carries. And Austin Wilkerson has a rushing touchdown and a touchdown receiving tonight for the Tigers. Bodie Rose, the Cassville quarterback, leading the way on the ground attack for the Wildcats, 8 carries for 70 yards. Bryson Jacobson, 18 yards on 3 carries and a touchdown. And Trey Wilson has been held to 15 yards on 5 carries tonight. Garrett Ewing has 3 catches for 56 yards for the Wildcat receiving corps. 27-7. Lamar leading Cassville here at the break. Both teams are back out of the locker room going through their warm-ups as we get set to start the second half. And again, reminding you, tonight's halftime show brought to you by Shoemaker Tire. Mark and the gang will have you up and running when you need a new set of tires in no time flat, or just when you have no time for a flat. Shoemaker Tire, Highway 86 in Golden, Missouri. We'll step aside, let you hear some more from our sponsors, and be back as we get closer to the start of the second half. Lamar leading 27-7 here at the break. You're listening to Big 8 Conference football here on the Talon Network. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back with you here at Cassville, just about ready to start the second half. Lamar leading over the Wildcats 27-7. Tonight's third quarter brought to you by J&M Pallet Company, where with years of experience, they specialize in new, used, and custom-built pallets. They're backing the Wildcats all the way at J&M Pallet Company. Their motto is "In God We Trust." Phone Jeff at 847-6732. That's 847-6732. Cassville will get the football to start the second half, so that would have made that field goal a little nicer, too, if they could have made that, got some points going into the locker room at halftime, and then getting the ball to come out of the locker room to start the second half. But, as you said, it's not about ifs, it's about what's going on, and they find themselves down by 20 starting the third quarter.
Yeah, and an opportunity here. You take the football, you go get points on the board, you get back in this ball game a little bit. So, again, as we said, first half, the Wildcats were able to move the ball some. It's not like they were getting – taking over on offense and 3 and out and having to punt the football. Wildcats punted a couple of times, but they were able to move the football down the field a little bit and have a little success. Had a big play in there. So, there were some good things that the Wildcats did in the first half.
Well, we thought we were getting close to starting the second half. I saw at one point the scoreboard kind of locked up during the halftime, and it got froze on 5 minutes for a while. They went ahead and let it tick down, and I thought I saw one of the officials kind of incorporate the extra time into the warm-up period because they get their halftime, and it's a designated time, and then when the teams come out, then after the designated halftime allotment, then you get the 3 minutes tacked on for the warm-up. And I thought maybe all of that had been factored in, but it obviously has not because they've just put 3 minutes up on the clock. Now, it's been ticking down while we've been talking, so we're down under 2 minutes. But they are going to make this 2 minutes tick away before they can start the second half. So don't get too far ahead of yourself here because we've still got about a minute and a half before the kickoff to start the third quarter. And they've already got all that extra time, so the Cassville Wildcats were out getting ready to receive, and Coach called them back over to the sideline so they can go over a few things, and everyone's trying to stay loose, both Lamar and Cassville. Players you see walking up and down the sidelines.
I don't know anybody here would have noticed if they just would have let them play.
No, everyone was ready to go. I mean, both sidelines were ready to go. They were getting ready to line up for the kick, and then somebody in a striped shirt signaled to the press box to run another 3. So we're down to 58 and counting. So just about ready to start this third quarter. Again, tonight's third quarter is brought to you by J&M Pallet Company, where the motto is "In God We Trust." Remember, during the third quarters of your life, praise God whether you win or lose and give Him the victory. Phone Jeff for all your pallet needs at 847-6732. Tonight's broadcast also brought to you in part by MedicareDoneRight.net. Your local trusted licensed insurance agent for Medicare health insurance plans is Eric Seifert. Find out more by going to MedicareDoneRight.net. So now the Wildcats are able to break huddle and head back out onto the field. Lamar just about ready to do the same from their sideline. Tigers leading over the Wildcats 27-7. As we get ready to get underway here in the second half. Cassville closing out the regular season next Friday night up at Monette for the annual Berry County Brawl. Lamar will make the long trip down to Hollister. Now, that's a road trip for the Tigers, coming all the way from Barton County all the way down to Hollister. They'll close out the season down there.
You think about the Big 8 Conference now with all the teams in it, and there are some serious road trips involved.
Yeah, you've got the Nevada to Hollister is probably the longest north to south, and then you've got McDonald County to Marshfield, the longest east to west. Wilhite kicks a squib kick down the middle of the field. Somebody come up and get it, and it looks like Canyon King did right at the 25-yard line. And that's where the Wildcats will start their first drive of the second half.
Yeah, that ball was on the ground a long time bouncing down through there. King heads up, able to run over and fall on it. Wildcats will take over.
Cassville breaks huddle up to the line of scrimmage. They've got Wilson and Jacobson in the backfield. Hadlow Ewing split wide to the right. Hernandez out wide to the left. Bodie Rose takes the snap. He's going to run to the left side. Gets a block on the edge. A flag comes out now.
He's cut off along the sidelines, trying to reverse his field. Another flag is thrown, and Rose is dropped at the 28 after a pickup of 3, but we've got multiple yellow rags on the grass. And I think I saw one over there. That block he was trying to wait for to see if he was going to go inside or outside ended up being sustained for a little too long, and I think somebody got a hold there, and that's what they're going to go with, the 10-yard holding penalty, and bring it back to the 16. I didn't really see what the second flag was for.
Well, this pursuit out of this Tiger defense is Rose is working his way one direction. They've got backside linebackers just flying, chasing him down. If there's any hesitation at all, trying to wait for a block to set up, they're catching it.
So first down and 20 now, and another flag as Rose is dropped in the backfield. And then good sportsmanship shown by the linebacker Trace Wooldridge as he helps up the Cassville quarterback. But somebody jumped on the Wildcat line, and it'll move him back 5 more yards to the 11.
Not the start to the second half the Wildcats were looking for, as they are way behind the chains. But as our cameraman just made the observation, at least it's still first down. That's why he's the cameraman.
That's right. He's keeping the good vibes flowing, not focusing on the negative.
That's right.
Hadlow resets around to the right side, and the Wildcats going to run the football. Got a pretty good initial surge, and then Trey Wilson is wrapped up at around the 15-yard line. He's able to pick up about 5 yards, and it'll bring up second down. Now it looks like they're going to give him 4 yards on the carry. So second down and about 23. Wilson has been held in check so far tonight, just 19 yards on 6 carries.
Yeah, after a monster week just a week ago up at Springfield Catholic, Wilson.
Yeah,
huge game.
Over 175 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns alone. Rose rolling to his right, throws underneath. The catch is made out at the 24-yard line by Garrett Ewing. And then he is chased out of bounds by Austin Wilkerson.
Wildcats like to run that sprint out pass play right there. It's kind of comes in levels. You've got a running back in the flat, you've got receiver at the second level, and then you've got a receiver running a deep fly route. So it's kind of, you've got 3 options there, and Rose likes that middle option. He completes it. It's a high completion rate play for him, as we saw right there.
It'll bring up third down and 11 from the 25. Rose this time rolling to his left, throws across his body. He's got Ewing open, and the pass could not hook up with the intended receiver. Ewing made a nice cut at the 45 and had gotten free from his defender, but the ball sailed a little bit on Rose. As we said, he was throwing across his body, and that's a very difficult throw, and he had to throw it quite a ways downfield, and it'll bring up fourth down.
Yeah, Ewing just not quite able to maintain the footing to adjust to the football in the air, wasn't able to come back to the sideline and get it.
So Hernan Hernandez in to punt it away. Will Height and Nagugi back at their own 40 awaiting the punt. Kick is high and short, angled towards the Cassville sideline, and this one's going to go off the side of the foot of Hernandez and give Lamar some great starting field position. He's still walking the sidelines, all the way down to the 40. It ends up being a 15-yard punt.
Not something that we have seen this year from Hernandez. Been a very solid punter and weapon in special teams for this football team. Sometimes that rugby-style punt that the Wildcats elect to use, ball's dropped a little bit funny. This time hits off the side of Hernandez's foot.
So Cooper Hahn in there at quarterback for the first possession of the second half, and he's got running room. Around the right end he goes. He's inside the 30. He's at the 20, at the 10, dives for the pylon, and they signal touchdown Tigers.
Wow.
The side judge didn't really have a good angle on it, so he looked back to the middle of the field, and the back judge signaled touchdown Lamar.
just like that, Lamar answers off the short punt. One play into the end zone. And that's what speed does for you right there. They were able to get a seal block on the edge as Hahn worked his way all the way across the field to the Tiger sideline and just outran the defense.
A 40-yard touchdown run by Cooper Hahn. That's his first touchdown of the night, and that puts him at 125 yards rushing. Now Juarez with the extra point try, and it is good. And with 9:57 left to go here in quarter number 3, Lamar extends their lead to 34-7. Again, tonight's third quarter brought to you by J&M Pallet Company, where they build and design new and custom pallets. During this game and the games to come, Jeff reminds team members that through God, all things are possible. Phone J&M Pallet Company, 847-6732. So the Tigers, a one-play scoring drive from 40 yards out after the short kick. And Cooper Hahn makes it another different Tiger to find the end zone. As we've got 4 different Lamar players have now found pay dirt here tonight. Austin Wilkerson, the only guy that scored multiple touchdowns. He's got 1 receiving and 1 rushing. Anthony's, Hernandez, and Wilson back awaiting the kick of Wilhite. Ty Wilhite tees it up. You'd almost think he's working with a running game clock as much time as he takes to kick it off. It's like he's, trying to get minutes or seconds off the clock. But
very patient for these squibs and pooch kicks.
It's a stopped clock, so he could show a little more urgency, but oh well. Short kick this time. Wilson is underneath it, back at the 15-yard line. He'll bring it back across the field, trying to get to the Cassville sideline. Races around one coverage man, and then is swarmed under at the 20. Falls ahead out to the 21, maybe the 22.
I'll tell you what. Kickoff return and the kick coverage unit. There is some speed and some collisions that can happen out there. It can be very violent play. And there was a pretty wicked tackle at the end of that run.
So Cassville will have it at their own 22-yard line. 1st and 10 Wildcats, trailing 34-7. Twin receivers to the left. Hernandez out wide to the right. They're going to run to the short side of the field. They give it to Trey Wilson. Sprints across the 25 to the 26. Picks up about 4 yards, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 6.
Nice play, the short side of the field right there. Coach Weldy, I promise you, will take 5 yards on 1st down anytime that he can get it. Got a good lead block on the way out there by Jacobson. Wilson again running the ball very hard, working his way all the way to the Wildcat sideline.
Yeah, he got a good spot to the 27, so a pickup of 5. 2nd down for Cassville. Jacobson gets the call here with Wilson leading the way. And Jacobson running to the wide side of the field, gets brought down from behind, waiting for that lead block to develop.
Yeah, another situation where backside defender catching up to the Wildcat ball carriers. You just cannot waste time looking for those holes. You've got to get north and south in a hurry.
You got a couple of yards, but it'll bring up 3rd down and 3. Cassville only 1 3rd down conversion tried, or 1 3rd down conversion completed tonight, I should say, in 7 attempts. This one a little more favorable, though, 3rd and short. They give the ball to Wilson. Jacobson leading the way, and Wilson has Austin Wilkerson come flying out of nowhere and drop him at the 29 for no gain.
Wilkerson.
He's the middle linebacker, and he came sprinting through a seam, and it'll bring up 4th down.
He's a 200-pound linebacker, senior on this football team. And he plays, certainly on defense, he plays with an edge, as we saw on the tackle and at the end of the play right there. Just a football player.
Hernandez gets the kick away. It bounces at the 40 and then rolls to the sidelines. And Lamar will take over between their own 35 and 40-yard line after the punt by Hernan Hernandez. Yeah, when Austin Wilkerson was a freshman and sophomore, he did a lot of ball carrying for the Tigers, but he still gets the ball once in a while. He's touched it 4 or 5 times tonight, and he scored twice, so you can't say they just leave him completely out of the offense. But where he's the big leader for them is at that middle linebacker position. He has become one of the better defenders in the not only Big 8 but in the area.
Oh, there's no question. There's no question. Just the edge that he plays with, the physicality, the speed. Yeah, devastating linebacker.
So 1st and 10 Tigers at their own 36. They're looking to run the ball as Cooper Hahn hands the football off. And that goes to Terrell Davis. And good job by the Cassville defense getting to the ball carrier and dropping him after a short gain. It looks like a pickup of a yard, maybe a yard and a half, and we have an injured Wildcat.
Hard to say who that is right now. Maybe the Wildcat middle linebacker, Mr. Schellenberger, and he has been dealing early in the season with a high ankle sprain. They are looking at a lower leg possibly there. Hard to say, but we hope that he's okay for sure.
Being checked out by the medical staff here at Cassville. 34-7, Lamar with the lead over the Wildcats. And Schellenberger up to his feet and is being helped to the sidelines. We'll take him over to the trainer's table and check him out and see how he's doing. Canyon King now will slide into the middle linebacker position. Meanwhile, it's 2nd down and 9 to go for the Tigers, just inside their own 38. 7:28 left to go, 3rd quarter. Lamar leading 34-7. Cooper Hahn fakes the handoff to Wilhite, throws it to a wide open man. Actually, he faked it to Davis. Correction there. He faked it to Davis and throws it to Wilhite as Ty Wilhite had gotten open across midfield into Cassville territory and picks up a Tiger 1st down all the way down to the Wildcat 40-yard line.
Yeah, just a little out route there. Got behind the linebackers in front of the corner as a wide receiver on that side had run the Wildcat corner out of the play. Nice play design and well executed there.
It's a gain of 22, 1st down Tigers. Wilhite's 3rd catch of the night for a total of 41 yards. Hahn looking to go up top again. He's got Austin Wilkerson open down the middle of the field. He makes the catch at the 20 and races into the end zone. Touchdown Tigers. Had a defender right behind him, but he turned on the Jets after he corralled the football and takes it in for the score, and that's his 3rd touchdown of the night.
Yeah, similar play, certainly farther out on the field, with similar play to the play action touchdown pass earlier in the game. This time, very similar play action. Wilkerson fakes the block down, leaks out, gets behind the linebackers. Hahn puts some air under it, let Wilkerson run underneath it, and you said it. Once he caught the football, Wildcat defender pretty close, but Wilkerson turned on the Jets and ran away.
Juarez in to attempt the point after, and the kick is up, and it is good. So that makes the score 41-7 in favor of Lamar with 6:46 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. And that missed extra point back in the 1st half is keeping the clock into normal operation right now, which is good news for Cassville to try to scrap back into this ball game here. Lamar has scored on their first 2 possessions of the 2nd half to extend their lead. And they will be kicking off to the Wildcats. Again, tonight's 3rd quarter brought to you by J&M Pallet Company, where pallets are customized to fit your needs. Their motto is "In God We Trust." Phone Jeff, an avid Wildcat supporter, at 847-6732. That's 847-6732. So Joel Beshore thrown a touchdown pass, and now Cooper Hahn, the other quarterback for Lamar, has also thrown a touchdown pass as well. Jake Anthony's back at his own 10, awaiting the kick, flanked by Trey Wilson and Hernan Hernandez. And Ty Wilhite teeing it up for the Tigers.
Well, as we've seen tonight, the Tigers can attack you from a lot of different areas on the field. A couple of touchdown passes tonight, certainly able to score on the ground.
Will squib kick this time down the middle of the field. It goes through the first wave. Anthony's picks it up back at the 22-yard line and is dropped at the 25.
And nice job. Anthony's had to run a long way up the field to get the football. Was able to get there and just kind of got down just in the nick of time as there were 2 or 3 Lamar Tiger defenders heading his way.
They spot him down at the 26, 1st and 10 Cassville. And Bodie Rose, the Cassville quarterback, will bring the play in from the sideline, relay it to his teammates. Up to the line of scrimmage they come. Hernandez and Ewing go wide to the left. Wilson and Jacobson in the backfield behind Bodie Rose. And he gives the ball to Wilson, and Wilson is hit right as he gets the football and is dropped for no gain, 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, I think Rose actually kept the football.
Yeah, he gets up from the bottom of the pile with the football, so he did hang on to it, didn't he? 2nd down and 10 now facing the Wildcats at the 26. So Rose gets the credit for the carry instead of Wilson. They bring the receivers to the right side this time, which is the short side of the field. The ball is pitched back to Wilson. Wilson turns it up at the corner, takes it across the 30, drives his way out to the 32-yard line, picks up 6 yards. Good hard run by Trey Wilson.
Yeah, he always runs the football hard. Nice job that time as he turned the corner to work downhill. He got down, he got behind his pads, took on a couple of defenders, and kept moving forward.
3rd down again facing the Wildcats. 3rd down and a long 4. They've got to get out to the 36 to pick up the 1st down. Right now the ball just inside the 32. They go with a single setback. That's Jacobson. Ewing goes in motion. Here goes Rose, rolling to his left. Dumps it over the top to Ewing, and he falls down but hangs on to the football. Boy, that ball nearly slipped out of his fingertips, but he did a nice job with the double clutch, held on to it as he was going to the ground, and picks up a Wildcat 1st down. The Wildcat 1st down brought to you by Superior Metal. They're first in custom ag buildings. Check them out on Facebook or YouTube and then call for a free quote, 888-364-9527.
Ewing coming in motion from right to left, got out in the flat wide open out there. The ball was thrown a little behind him. Ewing had to turn and was actually running backward as the ball arrived to him, and good catch, able to hang on to that football.
1st and 10 at the Wildcat 41. Here comes Rose with the option. He's going to keep it himself and dives ahead to the 42-yard line, picks up 1.
Tigers running the football tough on the Wildcats here in this 2nd half.
They're pretty big up front, but the crazy part about what they do is how quickly they close gaps and holes. I mean, these running backs for Cassville are seeing some opportunities because you can see they make these quick stops and cuts, but as quickly as they make their cut, someone's there to shut down the hole, and there's no place to go suddenly.
Yeah, it closes very quickly.
Inside give on the end around to Ewing, and Ewing is run down at the 45-yard line as he is able to pick up about 3 yards, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, Ewing very quick with the football in his hand, takes a little end around, trying to work his way down the field. And again, Tigers able to stretch the play down the line of scrimmage and really not give the Wildcat ball carrier much room to work at all.
3:40 left to play here in the 3rd quarter. Lamar leading 41-7. Cassville facing 3rd down and nearly 7 to go, just inside their own 45-yard line. Lamar stays with the 4-man front. Rose looking to throw. And under pressure, the ball is maybe tipped, but Rose took a hit right as he tried to unload the pass, and that may have had as much effect on it as anything, as that was Nautica Parker, 6'5", 190 pounds. Well, that's not the right number. Looking at the wrong one. We're looking at 6'3", 210 pounds. That's a little better. Because I was going to say, he's not quite that tall.
Yeah, Rose looked like he wanted to get rid of the football very quickly, a quick hitter, and it just wasn't there. And a little hesitation, had to kind of double clutch and then try to get rid of it. By then, just defender right in his face.
So Hernandez in to punt it away, the rugby-style kick, and it looks like he's going to try to go for it. Cassville rolling the dice here, and he is hit at the 50, spins forward, but where are they going to call him down? And right now they're signaling right at the 50-yard line. He spun off the hit, but his knee touched down at midfield, and the Tigers hold as Hernandez comes up about a half a yard short.
And just a vicious collision out there. And I don't know if that was Wilkerson or if that was Nance that made the hit on Hernandez right there. But wow, I mean, there you talk about helmets and pads popping. That was wicked.
So the Tigers will take over at midfield, leading 41-7. And the inside handoff goes to Davis. And Cassville trying to rip the ball loose. Davis is trying desperately to hang on to it. And he is able to pick up 2, maybe 3 yards. Looks like they're going to give him close to 3, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 7.
Davis, very difficult to bring down. He never did go to the ground on the play. Wildcat defenders all around him, but he stayed on his feet.
He is closing in on 100 yards rushing tonight. If he can reach that, he'll join teammate Cooper Hahn. So 2nd down and long for the Tigers at the Cassville 47. Man comes in motion, that's Sheet. He scored a touchdown tonight, but they fake the handoff to him, and Hahn is wrestled to the ground at the 45-yard line. Good tackle made there by DJ Glidewell.
Glidewell got his hands around the quarterback and was not getting away from Glidewell right there, brought him right to the ground. Good tackle.
So 3rd down, and we'll call it 5 facing the Tigers. They've converted only 1 3rd down tonight, but they've converted 2 4th downs. Man in motion again. This time they give the ball to Aiden Sheet, and Sheet is wrapped up from behind and wrestled to the ground. He will be brought down short of the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be a loss of about 2, maybe 3 yards.
He's a little slow to get up. Big-time tackle there by Vale. Outside linebacker for the Wildcats, able to corral Sheets and just drove him into the ground. Good tackle, but we hope that young man's okay as well. Had a couple injuries, seen a Wildcat injury, and now an injured Tiger out there. And the way he hit the ground, he hit the ground hard.
Yeah, and he was being spun around, so both players kind of lost their balance, and I couldn't really tell whether he come down on his head or his shoulder, but neither one of those is a good thing to land on when you're being brought down to the ground. And now he's up, walking off to the sideline slowly, but under his own power. So 4th down and 8 after the loss of 1.5 yards, nearly 2 yards, back to the 47. 1:50 left to go here in the 3rd. Lamar leading 41-7.
Wildcats have the punt team on the field, but Lamar is okay. Now they're going to drop back.
Yeah, Will Hyde drops back into punt formation. He was lined up kind of like as another quarterback there for a moment. Gets the kick away. Fair catch called for. Back inside the 20 by Garrett Ewing.
And nice job there by Ewing. Had to take a few steps up to corral the football, but you'd like to see your return guy catch the football in that situation, not given an opportunity to roll and really pin yourself deep.
30-yard kick, no return. Cassville takes over just inside their own 18-yard line. 90 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10, Cassville. Rose is wrapped up in the backfield and going to be dropped for a loss. Swarming defense of the Tigers.
Just a missed block right at the point of attack. Rose trying to go that way, and just a missed block there. Defender stepped up untouched. Rose nowhere to go with the ball.
So 2nd down and 11 now facing Cassville as the final minute of the 3rd quarter arrives on the scoreboard. Lamar leading 41-7. Cassville back up to the line. Man in motion is Wilson. Here comes Bodie Rose on the move. Throw. The catch is made at the 25 by Ewing. He's got a blocker downfield. Makes a cut at the 40. He's across the 50, inside the 45, and finally run down inside the 40-yard line. Garrett Ewing springs free, picks up about 20 yards after the catch, and picks up a big first down for the Wildcats.
A huge block downfield by Canyon King. Was able to turn around, find his man, and the cut by Ewing allowed King to pick that block up, which sprung Ewing another 15 yards downfield. So great downfield blocking, and Ewing doing a nice job catching the football and then the run after catch.
So 1st and 10 Cassville, the Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal. Find them online at superiormetalsalesinc.com. Here comes Trey Wilson running to the short side, trying to tightrope the sideline down the Cassville, in front of the Cassville bench, I should say, and he is able to run all the way down to the 30, picks up 9 yards, and it'll bring 2nd down and 1.
Yeah, good run right there off the right side. Able to bounce it to the outside to that sideline and had some room to work, just wasn't quite able to keep himself in bounds. But another good hard run and good blocking on the right edge that time by the Wildcats.
So 2nd down and 1 facing Cassville. Jacobson gets the call, and he will try to pick up the first down, and Lamar tries to prevent him from doing that. It's on the far side of the field, kind of at a bad angle for us. We'll see where they spot it. And right now they're signaling first down Cassville. So Jacobson picks up the needed yardage to move the chains. Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal. They're first in color selection. Check them out online at superiormetalsalesinc.com. And that will be the final play of the 3rd quarter. As we head to the 4th, Lamar leads Cassville 41-7, but the Wildcats driving the football. We'll be back after this break. You're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Network. Final 12 minutes on the clock as we are underway in the 4th quarter. Trey Wilson trying to get to the edge, takes on contact and fights his way down close to the 20-yard line before being bulldogged out of bounds over there on the Lamar side. It's good for a Wildcat first down. The Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal. They're first in all your farm building needs. Find them online for examples of what they can custom build for you. SuperiorMetalSalesInc.com. As Wilson ridden out of bounds down at the 15-yard line after a gain of 13.
Yeah, another good run by Wilson, starting to kind of pick up some steam here late in the 3rd into the 4th.
Bodie Rose going to run the football. Got a couple of blockers leading the way. He's at the 10 and is driven out of bounds. And Cassville forced Lamar to punt when the Tigers had a chance to put the 35-point rule into effect with the running clock. And now Cassville looking to cut into that lead that the Lamar Tigers currently enjoy. Rose gets it down to the 9 after a pickup of 6.
And Wildcats still playing hard out here. Scoreboard's lopsided, but the effort still appears to be there. They're playing hard, certainly on offense.
2nd down and 4. Rose gives the ball to Jacobson. Wilson leading the way, and Bryson Jacobson takes it down to the 5. Gains 4 yards. Did he pick up enough for the first down? Looks like he comes up about a half a yard short.
Once again, the Wildcat offense moving the football.
So 3rd down and less than a yard. Big 3rd down play here. Bodie Rose up under center. Gives it to Wilson. Wilson, quick cutback, and he is hit by Tate Ansley. And we're going to see where they spot it. No, 4th down. Big hit by Ansley. Denies Wilson the first down.
Well, a great defensive play. Lead block as Ansley's able to take on the block and shed it at the last moment, able to get a hand on Wilson and keep him from picking up that first down.
So 4th and about 1.5 feet, just outside the 5, between the 5 and the 6, with 10:07 left to go. Cassville going for it here on 4th and short. Bodie Rose going to run it himself. Around the end he goes. He's at the 3, at the 2. Touchdown Cassville as he sprints inside the pylon, and the Wildcats are once again on the board.
Quarterback sweep. A couple of lead blockers leading the way around the left edge. Rose taking advantage of those blocks and just raced to the pylon and into the end zone.
9 plays, 82 yards. And the 6-yard touchdown run by Bodie Rose. Peter Littlefield in to attempt the point after, out of the hold of Garrett Ewing. Its snap is low. Ewing picks it up, and now the pressure's on him. He's looking to throw. He lobs it towards the end zone. Had the tight end Hadlow in the vicinity, but it drops to the ground incomplete. So the point after try fails, and it stays 41-13 in favor of Lamar with 9:55 left to play. Wildcat touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance. If you're at the lake, come in and see the folks at Willis Insurance in Shell Knob in the Bridgeway Plaza for auto, home, life, and health insurance, along with commercial insurance. It's Willis Insurance in Shell Knob. Phone 858-3747. And the Wildcat Extra Point Try brought to you by the Barbecue Station, the sweet smell of midday on Main Street in Cassville, all courtesy of the Barbecue Station. 900 Main in downtown Cassville, just north of the square. Call 847-0470 for your next catered event.
Well, the Wildcats able to find the end zone for the second time tonight. And again, at times, have moved the football, look pretty well. And, you know, they haven't necessarily, you know, scoreboard says one thing, but they haven't looked totally overmatched tonight. I know the speed of the Tigers is difficult for anyone to deal with, but physically, you know, especially up front, they haven't just completely looked overmatched, overwhelmed, and manhandled tonight, in my opinion.
Littlefield kicks the ball away, a little squib kick down the middle of the field. The Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash. Clean car is a happy car, and that makes you feel good. And Ty Wilhite comes up and downs the football, and Lamar will take over. Looks like at their own 33-yard line with 9:54 left to go in the fourth quarter.
And it's good to see Schellenberger back out in the middle of that defense. Came off earlier, lower leg problem, not sure. Probably had something to do with that high ankle sprain suffered early in the year, because high ankle sprains can last a long, long time to get over.
Tonight's fourth quarter brought to you by First State Bank in Cassville. Over 26 years ago, they came to Main Street on Cassville to help their friends and neighbors reach their financial goals. Cooper Hahn still in there at quarterback. He's been there for the bulk of the night. We saw Joel Beshore, the normal starting quarterback, take a few snaps and complete a few passes, but he is battling a leg injury. Talking to our colleagues from Lamar with the Lamar broadcast tonight, they said he's somewhere around 85-90%, so he set out all of last week against Nevada. But they don't want to take any chances here with only 2 weeks left in the regular season, because they've got things that they want to try to accomplish in Class 2 once the postseason rolls around.
Well, certainly. And again, they look to be a strong contender.
But then you look, the younger Wilkerson, Alex was quarterback last week against Nevada, and then Cooper Hahn here tonight, another sophomore, and hasn't really fallen off much, their offense, with those younger guys in there leading the way, as Cooper Hahn just blasts one right up the middle and takes it all the way out to the 50.
Yeah, you know, the experience and size they have up front is going to help anybody back there taking the snaps and running the football. When you've got those big guys up front, you know, leading the way for you, they can take charge.
It's a gain of 17 yards, first down for the Tigers. With 8:45 left to go here in the fourth quarter, Lamar leading 41-13. And the Tigers with the football just across the 50-yard line into Cassville territory. Cooper Hahn gives the ball to Davis, and we got flags as there was movement down the line of scrimmage.
Left side of that offensive line got a little bit of a head start right there.
That'll back them up 5 yards. 4 flags against Lamar tonight for a total of 35 yards worth of penalties. And that'll move it back to about the 46. Game clock put back in motion with 8:25 and counting left to go here in the ball game. Tigers being a little more deliberate now, taking their time, coming up to the line of scrimmage. Play clock down to 10 seconds. Hahn gives the inside handoff to a new ball carrier, and that is Carson Sturgill, as he takes it back to the 50-yard line, picks up 4 yards, and it'll bring up second down and nearly 11.
Just feel like there's always kind of been that healthy respect between the two programs. I know for sure the first state championship Lamar won, the Wildcats had beat them in the regular season and turbo clocked them. And at some point it kind of switched where Lamar was dominating the series. And I just always kind of felt like there was a respect for what each one of these programs has done and the competition they bring between the white lines.
Aiden Sheet gets the call on second down and long and takes it to the 48-yard line for a pickup of 2, and it'll bring up third down and nearly 9 yards to go.
Yeah, good tackle there by Wildcat defender, flying to the football. Again, Wildcats continuing to play hard. No matter what's on that board, they're playing hard out there every snap.
So 3rd and 9 facing the Tigers. Hahn from the shotgun. Gives it to one man who gives on the end around to Sheet. Sheet turns the corner and takes it up the hash down to the 41-yard line. He's going to come up a little bit short as they spot him down 2 yards short of the first down. He needed 9. He picked up about 7.5. 4th down and a little over 1.5 yards to go. And right now the Tigers are leaving the offense on the field. They've converted 2 4th downs already here tonight. And midway through the fourth quarter, they're going to try to make it 3 for 3. 4th and short, letting the play clock tick down. Hahn takes the snap, keeps it himself. Off right tackle is hit short of the line of scrimmage, but then second effort may have gotten him the yardage. I don't know. The Cassville defense is saying no. We still have not seen a signal from the officiating crew.
Side judge looks like he's given a pretty favorable spot.
Yeah, he did, but they're going to bring the chains in. After that spot, they're going to want to measure this one because you're exactly right. He's got the ball all the way down to the 39, which looks to be enough yardage for the 1st and 10, but we'll see. The first down measurement brought to you by MedicareDoneRight.net. Eric Seifert is your local trusted licensed insurance agent for Medicare health insurance plans. Find out more by going to MedicareDoneRight.net. They stretch them out, and they pick it up by a few inches.
Favorable spot there for the Tigers. and they will maintain possession of this football.
So 1st and 10 Lamar at the Cassville 39. Hahn now 145 yards on 16 carries. 5:50 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Twin receivers come out wide to the right. Hahn letting the play clock tick all the way down to about 3 or 4 seconds before he takes the snap. He's going to run the football to the left, makes a cut inside the 35. Good gain on first down for the quarterback for the Tigers as he moves it down to about the 33-yard line. Picks up 6 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 4.
Again, Hahn all alone in the backfield, shotgun formation, just taking snaps.
And that's a little bit of a different look that we've seen from Lamar. Usually they've got, of course, back in their heydays when they were winning all those state championships, they had the spinner with the tool quarterbacks. But then they went to the pistol and the shotgun, and usually they have a running back off of the one hip or the other. But he's been pretty much back there all night long by himself. He brings guys in motion, but it's just him in the backfield. A flag comes out from the side judge, and we've got offsides against Lamar. Somebody lining up in the neutral zone. Usually that's a flag you see against the defense, but this one goes against the offense.
Yeah, it's not a call you see that often. I did notice a couple of times when the Tigers lined up, it looked like on the left side of their offensive line, one of those linemen was lining up pretty close to that football, and I think he lined up just a little too far that time.
So 2nd down and 8 now for Lamar. And again, they'll let the play clock tick all the way down before Cooper Hahn calls for the snap. Man comes in motion as Sheet. They fake the handoff to him, give on the end around to Davis. Davis makes a man miss in the backfield, breaks another tackle down at the 30-yard line, and falls forward. It looks like he's going to come up just a little bit short of the first down, though, as they spot him down at the 30 after a gain of 8.
Davis, a tough runner. I mean, in any other offense, he would, I mean, we watched him in warm-ups. We were talking about him in warm-ups a little bit. Just the way he moves on the field, 190 pounds, senior, 6 foot, very tough to tackle, quick with the football, makes very good cuts. And, if he was a feature back in an offense, there's no telling what he could do. Here he's part of the puzzle. He's a piece that they use and gaining that yardage. But the run right there, just the fact he got the handoff and immediately Wildcat defender steps upfield, immediately just makes a cut right by him and didn't go down with first contact. Took 3 Wildcats to bring him down.
3.5 left to go in the fourth quarter. Lamar calls the timeout, and we may be seeing a bunch of new Tiger faces coming out here for Coach Jared Beshore. We'll see what happens with Lamar leading here late in the football game. Again, tonight's fourth quarter brought to you by First State Bank in Cassville. Convert an opportunity into a reality at First State Bank of Cassville. And that is the case. New quarterback, Trent Torbeck. He is a freshman. And a lot of nice, clean white jerseys up there on the offensive line, too. So I think the whole second unit just got put into the ball game for the Lamar Tigers, facing 3rd and 1. The handoff goes to a guy, though, we've already called, Sturgill. He's got 1 carry, and on his second carry, he is chased down for a loss back at the 32, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, good play there. Canyon King, linebacker, able to come through the line of scrimmage and corral Sturgill from, as you said, chase him down from behind. We've seen the Tigers do that to the Wildcats several times tonight. This time, King able to get through that line of scrimmage and run the ball carrier down.
So Torbeck, the new quarterback, has twin receivers to his right. Inside handoff is given to Gage Shaw, a sophomore. He'll turn it upfield, and it's dropped short of the first down. So on 4th down, the Tigers will turn it over as Shaw was not able to pick up any positive yardage.
And in turn, as they turn the football back over to the Wildcats, Wildcats send their own brand new offense on the field.
So 1st and 10, Cassville at their own 32. We're under 3 minutes left to go. Wildcats trailing 41-13. And Hunter Morris gets the call on 1st down. We saw him do a really nice job last week in the second half against Springfield Catholic, running for over 40 yards. This time, though, he gets stacked up on the far side, is able to gain only 1, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 9.
You're right. Morse came in the football game late and ran exceptionally hard. Averaged about 10 yards a carry, in fact, if I'm not mistaken. But, yeah, to come in after watching a lot of the football game, to come in and be able to just rip off yardage like that, he ran the ball hard last week.
Tristan Thompson, the new quarterback for the Wildcats, is up under center. Gives the ball this time, and around the left end comes the ball carrier, and that is Trayton Burnett. We also saw him last week in the second half against Catholic, and he ran for over 20 yards on 3 or 4 carries. Picks up nice yardage here out to the 37 as he gains 4.
Yeah, working his way around the left edge, heading towards that Wildcat sideline. Open field situation. Nice play by the Tiger defender to bring Burnett down.
So 3rd down and 5 to go for Cassville. 90 seconds left to go here in the 4th quarter. Handoff goes to Morris, starts to his right, cuts back to his left, runs through one man and takes it out to the 49-yard line. Looks like they're going to say his knee went down at the 48.
Yeah, nice run once again. You like to see these young backs run and see, kind of watch their vision as he took the handoff. He got through the line of scrimmage. He just made a subtle little cut back to the left, so he's seeing what's happening out in front of him, but a nice cut right there allowed him extra yardage to pick up that 1st down.
Picks up the 1st down. It's brought to you by Superior Metal. Find them online at superiormetalsalesinc.com and find out what they can custom build for you. Morris again gets the call on 1st down. Takes it into Tiger territory as he goes down to the Lamar 46 and is able to pick up 5 yards.
Yeah, same play. Morris taking the football and getting through that line of scrimmage. Good job up front there by the young offensive line and making just a subtle little cut, allowing him to pick up some positive yardage there.
Morris, a big hole up the middle. He's got the 1st down and more as he spins off contact and takes it down to the 38-yard line. The Wildcat 1st down brought to you by Superior Metal. Find them at superiormetalsalesinc.com or give them a call, 888-364-9527. Cassville will probably get one more play here as we're under 20 seconds left to go in the 4th quarter. Split backfield, and this time the quarterback Thompson's going to keep it, running in behind the 2 blockers, has some room, cut back at the 30, takes it inside the 20, and is brought down around the 15-yard line. And the clock is stopped with 1.6 seconds remaining as they have it stopped while they reset the chains on the big run by Thompson, picking up the 1st down all the way down to the 15. But as they restart things, the final 2.5 ticks away, and Lamar picks up the win, 41-13.
Nice run there by Thompson to end the football game. Quarterback sweep around the right edge. Down the field he went, weaving his way through traffic. And again, running hard to end the football game.
So that's going to do it. Lamar picks up the victory here tonight as they come to Cassville and defeat the Wildcats 41-13. We will step aside as well. We'll be back with the law office of John A. Leewright postgame show after a few words from some of our other sponsors. You're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Network. Back with you here at Cassville. Lamar defeats the Wildcats 41-13. They jumped out to a 14-0 early lead in the ball game. Cassville cut the lead in half on a touchdown run by Bryson Jacobson, and then 2 second-quarter scores had the Tigers up 27-7 at the break. Lamar would add to that lead with 9:57 left to go in the third on a 40-yard run by Cooper Hahn to make it 34-7, and then a 40-yard pass from Cooper Hahn to Austin Wilkerson made it 41-7. Tigers on top halfway through the third quarter. Cassville would strike early in the fourth on a 6-yard run from Bodie Rose, and that capped off a 9-play, 82-yard drive, and that ended up being our final score. 41-13, Lamar with the victory. Cassville now 4-4, and Lamar, they improve to 7-1, and they keep pace right behind Seneca. Seneca, they were at McDonald County, and they have the lead 28-21 late in the football game, trying to remain unbeaten. And Lamar with just the one Big 8 West loss, just right behind the Indians here in week number 8. 41-13, Lamar with the victory here tonight over the Cassville Wildcats. Cassville on the road next week as they head up north for the Berry County Brawl against the Monette Cubs. And Lamar heads down south to Hollister. Monette falling tonight to Nevada 48-7. So the Berry County Brawl will close out the regular season for the Cubs and the Wildcats next Friday night there at Burl Fowler. And Lamar with that long road trip to close out their regular season in a crossover game taking on Hollister next Friday. Looking at some of the final stats from tonight's ball game. Team stats, Lamar ran the ball 41 times for 286 yards. They completed all 7 of their passing attempts for 101 yards for a total of 387 yards of offense. Tigers picked up 14 first downs. They turned it over once on a fumble. They were penalized 5 times for 40 yards, and they punted twice for a 32-yard average. Cassville carried the ball 37 times for 211 yards. The Wildcats were 6 of 12 through the air for 119. All 6 of those pass completions going to Garrett Ewing. Wildcats rolling up 330 yards of offense, picked up 13 first downs. They also had a turnover coming on an interception. Cassville penalized 4 times for 30 yards, and they punted 4 times for a 35-yard average. Lamar had their quarterback, Cooper Hahn, run for 150 yards and a touchdown on 17 carries. Terrell Davis close behind, 97 yards on 11 carries and a touchdown. Austin Wilkerson had a rushing touchdown. He also had 2 touchdown receptions, and Ty Wilhite had 3 catches for 41 yards on the night. Cassville led by Bodie Rose, the quarterback for the Wildcats, 78 yards on 12 carries and a touchdown. Trey Wilson got things going in the second half after being held in check in the first half. He finishes with 52 yards on 12 carries. And Bryson Jacobson had 26 yards on 6 carries and a touchdown. Garrett Ewing, 6 catches for 119 yards tonight for Cassville. Well, the Wildcats fall here tonight, and they will close out the regular season on the road, try to get some momentum back before the start of district play. Next week, it's the Berry County Brawl up in Monette as they take on the Cubs. We will await Coach Weldy to visit with us here in the postgame as we continue on with the Law Office of John A. Leewright postgame show. It's proudly brought to you by everyone there at the Law Office of John A. Leewright, and they want everyone to remember, if you don't talk, you may walk, and to call 417-847-2177. That's 847-2177. We'll try to get some other finals around the Big 8, and we also have our post-game awards we'll be handing out a little later on as well. But quick timeout, a word from our sponsors. Back with more from Cassville. You're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Network. Back with you here at Cassville as we continue on with the Law Office of John A. Leewright post-game show. They proudly support the Wildcats, and their professional personnel believe in your rights to a fair hearing and representing you with the utmost expertise, integrity, and excellence. Phone the Law Office of John A. Leewright at 847-2177. Now joined by the head coach of the Wildcats, Coach Clay Weldy. Coach, a tough one tonight. You got behind early, battled back, cut their lead in half, but then they responded. Lamar builds up another two-cushion lead there at the break, and they strike first coming out of the locker room, and that enabled them to add to their lead. Cassville scores in the fourth quarter, but Lamar goes on to the victory tonight.
Yeah, they're a very good program, and very physical and very athletic, and they gave us fits tonight. But I was very proud of our kids, how hard we played, and I thought we were physical tonight as well. And we just made some mistakes here and there, but I think it's one of those deals we can look back and takes a lot of positives away from tonight. There's kids competed the whole game, played 4 quarters, did not back down, did not quit, and so I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, there was a lot of hard hitting going on in that second half, and you would think it was a much tighter game on the scoreboard than what it was, but Cassville, like you said, they were fighting and scrapping, and right when Lamar looked like they were going to try to put the running clock into force on you, your defense said, no, you're not. You forced them into a punt, and the next thing you know, Cassville scores a touchdown of their own.
Yeah, that's a big thing. We could have laid down, and I go back, reference the Nevada game, a game that I thought we laid down and didn't finish. Since that point, the last 2 weeks we've played well last week, and then tonight, the one thing I was really proud of, as I mentioned, was our kids did not quit. They kept fighting. And especially right there in the second half, they had a few quick scores on us at a halftime on some mistakes we made, and then we turned around and just refused to let them score again, and just kept fighting and kept playing better, and we scored a touchdown. And I was just proud of our kids not quitting.
You even go back to the first half, and we talked about this right before halftime. You were down by 20, but it didn't really seem like it was that big a spread. You had to keep checking the scoreboard because your kids were moving the football against them in the first half.
Yeah, we played well defensively. They would pop a play for a touchdown, but they had to convert some third and fourth downs, and we fought them. Just did pop a play, and so it kind of felt like we're playing better with the score indicated. And offensively, yeah, we moved the ball, and heck, we had at the very end of the half, we almost scored again, and we ran out of time and lined up for a field goal, and just missed it. But we had opportunity to score there. But I thought our kids played really well.
You and I talked about this in the pregame show too. Coach Beshore is bringing more of the passing game in. He's mixing that in, complementing their running game. But even their running game, it's got a different look to it. I mean, you got your quarterback all alone now in the backfield, where you're used to having all kinds of people back there in the backfield. They still bring a lot of guys in motion, but they use a lot of different players to distribute the football.
Yeah, they roll a lot of guys in there, and they're very much a perimeter-based run scheme. They run, their downhill stuff is really just a quarterback run. A little different when Coach Bailey was there. You saw 2 quarterback system. They had a lot of downhill stuff they did, and they would pop you on the sweep. It's kind of like they're opposite of it now. They're perimeter-based, running buck sweep and jet sweep, and then they'll hit the quarterback with you. But they're still very physical, and the big thing is they have a lot of athletes that can roll in there and have a lot of speed, and so it complements what they have, and it's a good scheme for what they have.
Look at some of the numbers tonight for your kids. Bodie Rose had a nice night, running for nearly 80 yards and a touchdown. Boy, he was taking some licks, and he got the wind knocked out of him and got jarred on that one big long run that set up your first score, but he was able to bounce right back up and finish the game for you.
He played tough tonight. He breaks a long run and gets horse called on the sideline, and he kind of got a bruise on his back. Is what happened to him. But he set out one play and came right back in, and I thought he played really hard tonight. I thought our backs blocked way better tonight than they had the few weeks earlier. And so I was really proud of them, how hard they ran and how well they blocked. If our backs and receivers are blocking well, our run game can flourish, and I thought they did a better job tonight.
I had Bryson Jacobson for just shy of 30 yards, and he scored a touchdown. And Trey Wilson was held in check in the first half, but then he got things going in the second half and ran for over 50 yards.
Yeah, Trey's had a good year for us, and as I mentioned early in the year, he started the season off as a receiver and moved to running back really when Jake got hurt early in the summer, and he's been our most explosive player offensively, and he's a leading rusher and I think our second leading receiver. He's had a really good year for us and been a real bright spot for us.
Garrett Ewing had a huge night catching the ball for you. I had him nearly 120 yards on 6 catches, and an inch or two there, and a deflection that happened that if it wouldn't have happened, he could have had even a bigger night, maybe a couple of scores.
Yeah, he had a couple of balls he caught that he kind of tripped on his feet that he could have turned up and made better plays, but he's been big for us as well. He's been that receiver we always need. When we have a good receiver, it makes our offense better, and he's had some big nights, and he had a big night tonight.
And the one thing about him, too, he's not real big in stature, but he gets in there and finds the openings, and then when he makes the catch, he usually takes a lick, but, boy, he hangs on to the football and picks up extra yardage. He does a good job making extra yardage after the catch.
Yeah, he's a tough kid. He does a he's very quick, and he does a good job. When the ball gets in his hands, he turns up real quick and gets extra yards for us, and he's been that way all year, and it's always nice when you get those extra yards up the catch.
Well, we've got 8 weeks in the book, and we're down to the final week of the regular season. This season has flown by, and next week it's the Berry County Brawl.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny. It's the last game of the regular season. Usually play at different time of the year, but it's one of those games. Throw the records out. It don't matter. It's a tough game. Both sides are going to play really hard. Both teams want to win this game, and so I'm looking forward to it.
One thing about tonight being the final regular season home game as well, you got to recognize your seniors and honor them and recognize them for their accomplishments that they've had through their careers here at Cassville.
Yeah, we have 15 seniors this year on our team, and they've all been big part of our offense and defense. Special teams has been a big part of our team, and got a lot of those guys that are playing big positions for us this year. Very proud of that group, and I hope they can lead us to some more games as we get to the later part of the season. You get to next week with the Berry County Brawl, and then we have Week 10 as districts, and it's winner stays and loser go home, and hopefully get some more games.
And you look at the Berry County Brawl, too, Monette being a Class 4 school, it's the opportunity to improve your district standings a little bit, too, if you can go on the road and pick up a nice win.
Yeah, and I don't know what's going on tonight, but, I think we're going into not in that 4 seed, and I don't think we can drop anywhere. We can go up. So hopefully next week we can go get a win and be, as you mentioned, a Class 4 school. So getting a win, get some bonus points there, too, and just see what happens.
Yeah, we'll check the final scores from some of the other games involving district teams as we close out here tonight. But Cassville on the road next week, and like you said, it always was a great rivalry in the Big 8, and then when Cassville and Monette got put in the same division, when we expanded, it kept them together there, and then when they threw in the Berry County Brawl Trophy, it just added some more to it.
Yeah, and we got a lot of people who work in Monette and vice versa, so the community gets excited about it, and our kids know their kids, and I coach track, and I see at track meets our kids talk to the Monette kids, and they date their girls and vice versa. So there's a lot of that mix in the community, so it makes it a more interesting matchup.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time here in the postgame as always. Have a good week of practice, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
Thanks, Sammy.
Hey, Coach Clay Weldy, join us here in the postgame show, and we'll step aside one more time, be back to give out our postgame awards and wrap things up here from Cassville. Back with you one final time here at Cassville. The Wildcats fall to Lamar 41-13. Time to hand out our post-game awards, our hard hit of the night. It is brought to you by Berry County Ready Mix. For any and all of your ready mix stone or aggregate needs, stop by Berry County Ready Mix at any of their convenient locations. They're located in Shell Knob, Cassville, and Eagle Rock. You can call their Cassville office for a free estimate at 847-3200. That's 847-3200. Our hard hit of the night goes to linebacker Angel Vale, and that came in the first half, and it ends up standing the test of time throughout the night. Our Wildcat Player of the Game is brought to you by Fast Trip at 104 South Main in Cassville. Great prices and friendly service is what you'll find at Fast Trip. Stop by today, locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. And we've got a couple of candidates tonight for our Player of the Game. Bodie Rose, the quarterback. He throws for 120 yards. He also runs for 80 yards and a touchdown. But Garrett Ewing, a really nice night receiving in a lot of heavy traffic, come up with some big catches to keep some drives alive, and Garrett Ewing is our player of the game. 6 catches, 119 yards receiving tonight to lead the Wildcats in that category. Well, next week, the regular season comes to a close, and the Wildcats head out on the road up to Burl Fowler Stadium for the annual Berry County Brawl. It's always a fun time, and like Coach Weldy said, it's one of those games kind of like the Bell Bowl with Aurora and Mount Vernon. Kind of throw the records out the window. They're playing for bragging rights. They're playing for that Berry County Brawl trophy, and they're playing for who can go around saying they have the trophy and the victory for a year into 2023.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, the fact that the kids and the parents and they're so intertwined, whether it's, work or just, who they're running around with, just a lot of familiarity with everyone, with each other, and it just makes for a fun night and a lot of times a pretty physical football game.
That's exactly right. Well, looking at some of the other finals around the conference, Nevada defeats Monette 48-7. Aurora comes back and beats East Newton 12-7 in a low-scoring game over at Kelly Field. And it's now gone final down in Anderson. Seneca beats McDonald County 28-21 in a dandy, and Seneca remains unbeaten on the year. Reed Spring knocks off Rogersville 28-14. So just when it looked like Rogersville was going to try to knock Reed Spring out of the top spot in the Big 8 East, they've now lost 2 in a row, and Reed Spring remains unbeaten in Big 8 East standings. So the only game that has not gone final is Mount Vernon at home against Marshfield. And the last score we had from that one, the Mountaineers were running away from the Blue Jays 44-6. And some other games that involve district teams. Buffalo lost tonight to Springfield Central. And that's a good thing because Central's a Class 5 school. If they would have beat them, they really would have got some bonus points. But they fall to Central 40-14. And then a wild one up at Osage, as Osage hanging on to a 47-32 lead over Southern Boone late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, a lot of points scored in that one. That was third quarter, 35-32 score. So Osage has opened it up just a little bit in the fourth, but who knows how that one's going to end.
So right now, Osage just ahead of Cassville in the district standings. We'll see how it all shakes out and let you know more about that next week on the Sports Rewind, and then during our pregame next week as we get set for the Berry County Brawl. The other Big 8 matchup we thought was tonight. A couple of the schedules I saw had it tonight, but it is actually tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and that's Springfield Catholic at Hollister taking on the Tigers. That game has got moved to Saturday. It's probably one of those deals with the shortage of officials that we are in. They've moved games to Thursday night and Saturday afternoons, and that game moved to Saturday. So the Irish and the Hollister Tigers will play tomorrow afternoon down in Hollister. Well, that's going to wrap things up tonight in Cassville. We want to thank Athletic Director Doug Martin and all of his staff and all the folks here at Cassville for all the hospitality. And we look forward to hopefully being able to come back once the district playoffs roll around. And right now, the way the district seeds are, Cassville will be getting a home game in Week 10. So we'll see if that comes to pass. And we'll cover the Wildcats wherever they're at, whether they're on the road or here at home. But we'll be looking for a home game, hopefully, for the first round of the playoffs. I'd like to thank Coach Weldy for dropping by and visiting with us here in the postgame. We always appreciate his time. Thanks to Dwayne and Janet for keeping an eye on things back at the studios. Dwayne was actually here for a while tonight, hadn't been down to Cassville, and then he got back on the road. And thanks to all of our sponsors for helping support our broadcast, whether on the radio, online, or on web TV. We thank them so very much for helping us with our broadcast and helping support Cassville High School athletics. Well, back with you next Friday night as we travel up Highway 37 to Monette, the Berry County Brawl from Burl Fowler Stadium, as the Cubs and the Wildcats will close out the regular season next week. Our final score here tonight in Cassville, the Lamar Tigers defeat the Wildcats by a score of 41-13. Speaking for Jeremy Marple and Todd Speakman, this is Sammy Clapper saying thanks so much for joining us, and good night from Wildcat Stadium.